think so. Here we go. You are live. Oh, Mark, what's up? You're the first one in the comments with a let's go. How's your night going? I'm here with Tyler Potter.
What's going on, guys?
Mopar Master Tech. When are you going to go back and tell us more about the shop? Well, I was there all day trying to get the heat going. I'm close. That's the update on the shop. So Tyler brought over, there was a question yesterday about the old Mountain Dew Major Melon. So I'm trying it out. It's charged with watermelon and other natural flavors. There's no natural flavors in this.
I feel like it's a very Mountain Dew flavor at the beginning, and then the watermelon hits you.
But I see the main flavor here, high fructose corn syrup.
That's very natural.
WatchJRGo, what's up? We got some mods in the house. Do you have Roblox? I don't. 3 days of lives, yes, because it's very cold outside. But today is about the end of the death cold.
We're what, 9 degrees right now?
7 right now.
We're 7 degrees.
Pretty good. I actually heard some of the snow melting earlier, so the shop was doing its like creak and drip thing.
Yeah.
So if you guys weren't here at the very beginning, Tyler Potter, another local YouTuber. I was gonna be like, I'm here with Tyler, not Hoover.
the small nobody Tyler.
Tyler actually told me to tell everybody that you're his next door neighbor. So Tyler lives like 100 feet from Tyler.
I can hear when the cars start up in the morning and when he can't get them up the driveway in the evening.
He did tell me all about that today. He was like, man, I tried to start the diesel, it wouldn't run. I tried to start the other car he's working on right now, the Bavarian one. So it wouldn't run. All he could drive was his G-Wagon this morning, which was pretty funny.
Before I left, there was a lot of noise being made from outside. I couldn't tell if it was the house making noise. I looked out and there was a car, trying to make it up the snowy driveway.
He said he tried to use the G-Wagon to push the Bavarian car. I was like, oh, man. Anyway, that's the update on Tyler Hoover. Like I said, different Tyler, but Tyler's neighbor. So we are here to talk about really whatever, but mostly Mopar things, and possibly the most important Chrysler product there is at this moment in time, which, as you know, is the Chrysler Pacifica.
The Platinum or the
I can't think. I knew what
Premium
it was.
Platinum.
It's better. It's got a crazier name.
But it comes with pillows.
It comes with pillows, leather quilted pillows.
Pillows. I just saw that recently. So.
Oh man, and fully leather quilted seats.
Yeah.
I wanted to say the Aspen Cade, but that was like a totally different car. Pinnacle. It's called the Pacifica Pinnacle.
And we haven't obviously gotten any in yet, but it looks super cool.
Yeah, that looks sick.
I may try to steal a pillow from the first one that comes in.
That would actually. I need a Chrysler Pacifica pillow on my couch. I should see if Parts has one, because that'd be awesome. I bet they're like hundreds of dollars.
And we'll have warranty claims on pillows. Is your pillow not firm enough?
I'm gonna go sit on one until it's destroyed. Okay, SRT division really closed. That's probably the leading question right now, and it is. I mean, it's the end of SRT, which is a sad thing. What's your take on this?
We haven't, on the dealership side of things, we haven't, gotten any more information on it. Surely they're still going to be making all of the 6.4, 6.2 Hellcat stuff. Obviously, it's going to have a different name on that window sticker, but
I don't see that stuff leaving.
We sell so many 6.4 powered vehicles that they couldn't get rid of that.
Right.
So
no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And even the Hellcat for a while. I mean, they're still like releasing new platforms with the Hellcat. So. Right. Scott mentioned the Aspen Cade Hellcat, which obviously is an upcoming model. Let's see. There was the Chrysler Goldwing Aspen Cade Hellcat. Oh man, we gotta stop reading this stuff. I have a 2012 Ram 1500 that has a decent vibration. What is the cause of this? Had several sets of tires put on and been to many shops. No answers. Please help. Don't know what to do. It's not a lot of information.
Yeah, not a lot of information. I wonder if we've got a driveline vibration, if multiple tires have been replaced and we still have the same vibration, more possibly drive shaft.
Yep.
Something along those lines would be my next guess if tire balance is on
Did you check wheel run out? Did you put it on a road course maybe?
That's true. You could have perfectly balanced wheel and tire, but it's bent and bouncing down the road and also causing that vibration. So.
I have absolutely nailed the balance on wheels and tires and been like, there's something wrong here.
Yeah, exactly.
So, check it for run out and put it on a road course, see what happens. Sometimes it helps to have some force on that thing. So, and then I had a 2002 Jeep Liberty with a 45 RFE that would shift great, but when you shifted from park reverse neutral drive, the car would jerk. I don't know. That doesn't seem odd.
Yeah, I mean, there's a thing you can do with the factory scan tool called a quick learn that relearns all the CVIs in the transmission to kind of help the shift points. It sounds like maybe that would be beneficial as long as we're full on transmission fluid and the filters aren't plugged and all of that kind of routine maintenance stuff is checked over.
Yeah, is the fluid burnt?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're having a pump failure maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot there, right? So, like Tyler said, the scan tool is always the easiest thing to start with.
Right.
But I don't think if it's been in service for a while, I don't think you want to do the fast learn or the quick learn.
It just kind of depends on, definitely want to check fluid condition level, all of that stuff before you dive into other things.
It'll tell you a lot real fast. Just
for sure.
Put it on your finger and see, is there fiber in the fluid?
Yeah.
If there is, it's too late. Put a transmission in it. Not a big deal. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna jump way forward here. Sorry, I was way back there. Mazda questions. Well, Jonah, thank you so much for your super chat. Just discovered you a few weeks ago. Easily my favorite YouTuber now. Thank you. What do you have to say about that?
I really enjoy his content also. He is one of the guys that, I click on whenever I see his videos. So
awesome. Thanks for watching the videos.
For sure.
Anyway, Tyler has done a lot of things with us, right? So didn't you go on the last Arkansas? I know you couldn't make that one.
Yeah. I'm always working normally.
Yeah, but you were at the track day when Hoovie blew up the old Porsche.
The Porsche blew coolant all over the Camaro.
All over your Camaro.
Yep.
Nasty ZL1 Camaro. And you've done a few.
We've done a few drives and stuff. Yep.
So we spent a lot of time hanging out, and he has his own YouTube channel now, and I'll link it in the description and in the title and everything here. Scott wants to know why Mopars are so expensive to build. The Hellcat tax is insane. Yeah, that's just facts.
Big power. They can ask for a lot of money.
Lots of cam bearing failures.
Yeah,
ask for
cam
a lot
and
of
lifters.
Yeah,
pull the cabs off a lot of trucks.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
but honestly, I think that's like the go-to maintenance thing for everyone now. Especially if you have a diesel, the cab's coming off every time.
For sure. Just you're not leaning over the engine bay. It makes everything right there a lot nicer to work on. So, and
once you've done cab pulls, it's pretty second nature, right? It's like grab the 5 wiring harness connectors or whatever.
Yeah,
pull
steering linkage.
Yeah.
Couple of harnesses and cab bolts. Lift the cab off, and you're right there standing on the motor. So
super nice way to work on stuff.
Very, like that. Definitely.
Bad Goat, thank you so much for your super chat. Need to pay up to the kitty now because I will bring up sexy mode eventually. That's a throwback. It's been a while since we had that video at this point. 18 Chrysler 300 with the V6. It has a whine at startup. Somebody said this was kind of normal, but it seems strange to me.
My first 18 Chrysler 300. And I kept trying to remember offhand if those are electronic power steering with the separate reservoir or all that. Not a common issue.
Okay.
Not sure without hearing that in person, unfortunately.
It's definitely a hear thing. Some of this stuff, it takes a lot of information. So it will be hard for us to give you any answers. If you were to ask about general things, what are the problems with this engine?
Right.
Those are pretty answerable.
Yes.
But a lot of this other stuff, there's
noises,
a shutter,
buzz, squeak, rattles. Those are tough unless you're in the vehicle trying to listen to it.
Yeah. Or what's up with this code kind of thing. Those are questions that can be answered. About to buy a 13 Dodge Journey. Are they reliable?
Honestly, we really don't have too many issues with the Journey. The 4-cylinder is pretty underpowered and doggy, but they haven't refreshed that thing for a long time. It's really not too awful bad.
I think when they refresh that, there's actually a video on the channel of me making 0 to 100 pulls, and I think it's a Journey.
Was it a 4-cylinder?
I think so, because it was so slow.
It's got to be a 4-cylinder.
Oh yeah, 14 seconds 0 to 60 or something. It was bad.
They're pretty slow.
Really bad. Colton Jeep says he's the Jeep JK wizard, which is true.
I worked on Jeeps for over 13 years now, so I like to think that I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, got Jeeps down. What's the cause of lifter failure in Hemi engines? There you go.
The roller bearing on the end of the lifter, the bearings, the little needle bearings are failing, and then the roller tip locks up. Once it doesn't spin, the cam continues spinning and the lifter wipes out the camshaft, and then you need cam lifters, pull the heads off. The whole the whole deal. So
yeah, I mean, once those things stop rolling, you're just taking metal off it's like turns the camshaft into its own grinder.
exactly.
And that's it. So let's see what else. Why are Dodges built in Canada? I'm pretty sure they have all the VINs, right? You have 1 VINs, 2 VINs, 3 VINs.
Yeah, some of the stuff's Canada, some of the stuff's
Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico. Yeah, we're kind of all over the place. I'm assuming it's just wherever that plant is.
Yeah, that's just world supply chain stuff. It's still kind of made in America because they'll bring it here and put the tires on it or something.
Yeah.
So, all the American manufacturers make stuff in every country at this point. Let's see. 04 WJ rear axle seals, Dana 35C. Is that a question?
Yes, they leak.
Okay.
They do leak. You are correct. They are leaking back there, and you will need to replace those.
That's probably not fun, but at least it's a Dana. That's a normal axle. You should be able to find those parts at O'Reilly's.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Easy stuff.
Very common.
Why do WK front diff bearings make so much noise?
Because they're getting old. They got a lot of miles. Nobody's maintained them. So put some new carrier bearings, pinion bearings, put it back together, get it on the road.
With a good synthetic gear oil.
For sure.
You should be good.
Yes.
Yeah. The F-250's got a lot of front end whine in the last 2 days because I've driven everywhere in 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little upset, but it happens. I mean, it probably needs fluid already. We'll see. Do the Holley EFI conversion kits work as well as claimed on old Mopars?
That's more your kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't. Everything they make's bulletproof, right? I mean, it's just looking for a signal from the distributor. It needs tack, and then it just acts kind of like a electronic carburetor. So I don't see anything that could go wrong with those. It's just like putting a carburetor that works correctly all the time on a carbureted car. So it'll be fine. Would JR consider turning a Jeep mail truck into a mobile donut shop? Yes. It will actually have donuts in it and not do donuts. It will literally sell donuts. I don't know why. Why do I have to pull? What fuse do I have to pull to get traction control off on a 2012 3.7 Jeep Liberty Limited?
You would want to pull your ABS fuse. If it has ABS on that, then it's going to disable ABS, traction, all of those things.
Traction can't do anything if it can't run the brakes.
For sure. Yep.
There you go. Why did Tyler cross the road to get to the Wizards? Probably
looking for good work.
It's actually a really long drive. That's not across the road. That's I have to go to Newton. More Jeep questions in here. WJ Noob. 04 4.7 liter WJ. It's bleeding the cooling system through the plug on the water neck. Is bleeding the cooling system through the plug on the water neck really that crucial?
Absolutely. Probably. That is the bleed point. You want to pull that, fill the coolant till it pours out of there, put the plug back in, fill it up the rest of the way. That is the way to bleed that 4.7, and that's Dakota everything.
I would assume that you're doing it with vacuum fill though, right?
We typically on Chrysler we're not. We're just we've got a bleeder screw. We fill it to that and there versus a lot of other manufacturers that require a vacuum fill. So
it is. I like the vacuum fill because it's so fast and easy, rather than having to dig out some more equipment.
Yep, for sure.
But sometimes even on BMWs, it's honestly pretty easy to just fill them and open the bleeds.
Right.
And it does work really well. What doesn't is on the 3800 bleeders and stuff. It's just
those
easier to vacuum. Yeah, the stupid copper ones. Because the copper seizes up on them and stuff. That's just vacuum fill that stuff. So I'm sure you could, but bleed it. Thoughts on the WL long wheelbase? What's this WL?
That's the new Grand Cherokee.
Okay.
That they showed the refresh. It's not quite the new Grand Wagoneer, but it's like the pre-Grand Wagoneer. Should be cool.
It's the price point one, the $80,000 price point.
Before the big boy.
Before you spend $100 on the big
for sure. No, it's going to be a beautiful vehicle. I'm sure it's going to drive nice, do everything like it should. It's going to be a good Jeep Grand Cherokee. So haven't seen them in person yet, but we'll see them when they hit the dealership. So
Pizza Man is still talking about the traction control thing. He said he just had a snowstorm, empty parking lot, traction button says it's off, but it's still throttle cuts. Well, it's throttle cut is what's going on.
Yeah.
And
so you can turn off the traction control, but you can't turn off the electronic stability control with Chrysler. They're super, super particular. Yes, in a straight line, you could spin the tires, but the second you get that vehicle out of shape, the ESP is going to come on even with the button turned off. That's when you're going to need to find that ABS fuse and pull it, even though you've got the traction control button turned off.
Yeah. And on the Nissan, it was even worse. I had to...
You got to do the wire cut thing?
Everyone's supposed to put a switch in line with that fuse so you can turn the fuse off.
Okay.
but it throttle cuts even if it can't control the wheel speed with the brakes, which is funny.
Yeah.
So no, it's not. My hair is just gonna be my hair because even the barbershop is closed for the weather. There's nothing I can do about it. I was like, I'll go get a haircut. Nope. Why can't I get rear diff spider gears anywhere? Jeep has been sitting around for 2 months. I don't know. That doesn't seem like a big supply chain thing.
I wouldn't think that would be an issue. Check your local 4-wheel drive shop, see if they've got any used open differential carrier sitting on the shelf. You can steal some parts.
Boom. What would you say Chrysler Dodge was always the number 3 car maker for a reason? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
Are they the number 3 car maker? They are, right? Because Ford is the king of trucks,
right?
And then GM has like a weird line that like somehow will always sell because it's always the Ford Chevy thing, and then Dodge kind of is the 3rd. But they make so much good, exciting stuff. I don't know. It's just the other American car maker. You just
I get that question all the time on what's the best manufacturer out there? What's the best truck? What's the best half ton? Everybody, Ford, Dodge, everybody's making such good quality products right now. There's not one that's just so much better than the other. It's really just brand preference. Everybody's making quality product. Doesn't matter really what brand you buy.
But if you need the best truck there is right now, I do think it's the Ram Limited. The 2500 Ram Limited. I don't think it can be beat. But the Ford's real good. Are you still racing Tyler? Oh yeah, obviously.
For sure, yep. Yeah. Once the season gets going, we'll be at track days, autocross. I'm gonna go hopefully play with John Ross with the big boys, or at least doing some half-mile stuff. And
Airstrip Attack this year. It's gonna be fun.
So
thoughts on deleting the MDS in a 5.7? The material data sheet? I don't know, man. You just throw it in the trash. Just hope OSHA doesn't show up.
MDS, I guess guys are, deleting that. You'd have to tune. You'd hopefully be putting new lifters in there, so you wouldn't maybe have the lifter issue. But I've got it on my Ram, and I don't mind it personally. A little better gas mileage.
Until I mean, I guess you're not seeing the same failures, but you see like the whole valve train fail. So it's like whatever.
Right.
I mean, they're engines. Come on, they're not all perfect. They're just all really good. That's kind of the thing. Favorite daily wagon? I don't know. Nothing we're talking about right now has a daily wagon. For me, it's probably the V70R, but also really hard to get V70Rs now. Okay, Chasing Supercars keeps asking if he's blocked and then saying, JR, unblock me for like the last 2 or 3 days, and I definitely not blocked. Everyone can see your chats, man. Do you like EVs? So this has kind of devolved into an EV discussion every day this week.
Yeah.
So we'll let you talk. What's your take on EVs for a minute?
I am a huge fan of Tesla. I would buy one. My wife, we were getting ready to buy our new car. We would have bought ideally a Model S. Insurance is outrageous. So we ended up back in her like 7th Prius now. She's on like number 7. Not because she crashes them. She just likes the new Prius every couple of years. But I am super pro EVs. Jeep is supposed to have a couple of small little EVs coming out, and if we would have had a Jeep EV on the lot, we probably would have bought it. I'm very pro cool. EVs.
Yeah.
Lots of torque, lots of power.
Yes.
So
honestly, other than the fact that it might be weird off-roading with EVs, we haven't really seen a lot of off-road EV-ness. Because I think like one of the cool things about having a gas engine and that like idle sitting there where it's making a lot of torque and just kind of humming along, when you switch to an electric motor, the throttle control may become really hard.
Right.
And you might end up burying something that you wouldn't have buried if it was running on gas kind of thing.
There is a new Wrangler coming out, the 4xe.
Okay.
And it's a hybrid electric Wrangler.
Okay.
That supposedly has 700 foot-pounds of torque with the combination of the hybrid and the gasoline engine. So that will be really interesting to drive. And
I'd say like rock crawling with that, you could never get stuck.
Right.
But like sand and mud,
possibly have issues.
Yeah, it might be worse.
Right.
So that's kind of a weird thing. That's does Blue Devil head gasket sealant work? Absolutely, for a little while. If you do it right too, it's really tricky to actually make head gasket sealants work. There's not a lot of cases. Like if the car's trash and you need to you need it to last like 500 more miles or something.
Right.
Do the head gasket sealant. And it might last, in my Camaro, I think it lasted 3,000 miles. Or like, it's got new head gaskets now, but early on I ran sealant in it, and it worked for a long time until one day I was heading to work and then overheat.
Right.
All of a sudden, it just came out of nowhere. And like, yeah, the stuff works, but who knows when it'll fail on you. So put a head gasket in it if you care about the car. Mateo keeps asking if the new Silverado 1500 is garbage. Like, that's like the 500th time.
Haven't driven one personally.
There's been a lot of engine failures in the current like DI engines, which is, but who cares? It's all under warranty. Let the engine fail. You get a new engine.
There you go.
What are you guys worried about? Like, the only ones that are failing are well within their warranty period, and they'll get it sorted out, and it'll all be fine. Let's see. Any maintenance modification tips for a Fiat 500 and Bart? I've recently blown an engine and replaced it with a new used 30,000 mile engine. There's an oiling issue with those or something. I forgot. It's pretty common. Like, a lot of them have engine failures. I think all of them, actually.
We've seen a few at the dealership on our Fiat side of things, but
it's not the multi-air module does fail a lot, which is expensive.
We've seen a few. Yeah, the brick is what that's called. That's what actuates the intake valves. Those fail occasionally. So
that's really it, isn't it? Maybe like pump O-rings or something, because I do see a lot of catastrophic failures too.
We do have that multi-air engine does burn a lot more oil.
It does burn a lot of oil.
So we are actively in the middle of a recall for the oil burn on those. So,
but for late model ones, not for
a lot of the Jeep stuff.
Okay.
It's a reflash. We're fixing oil burn with a software update.
That's interesting. I'd love to know how that's working. They're like, if we just like run the engine a little cooler, like spray some more fuel in there or something.
When you coast, they are closing the intake valves.
Okay.
With that brick, and that was creating a vacuum in the crankcase and pulling oil up with the pistons up on the cylinder walls and burning more oil. So the software update keeps the intake valves working and hopefully doesn't create a vacuum in the crankcase.
Huh. Well, that's
kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's freaking genius. Huh. And my Bart did burn a ton of oil too.
Yeah,
like
it's kind of a multi-year thing.
You just keep like a quart of oil in the car and plan on.
Yep.
Yeah. So what's up next? Jeep tells me the parts for my LSD are super back ordered. Are they having supply? Everyone's having supply chain issues, and they just blame it on COVID. So who knows? Like, there's really nothing. We don't know. Ask. I don't know. Whatever ship is moving the parts across the ocean. Like, just bought an 06 Saab 97 for $1,100. Does it have a blown engine? Like, that's so cheap for a Trailblazer. It's cheap. That sounds like a great deal. Recap of SRT shutting down. Stellantis, of course, trying to be like everyone else, decided they're going to build EVs and pulled the performance division. It's just like when GM shut down the performance division, and Ford eventually will shut down their performance division, and that'll be the end of the gasoline super era. So
buy them while you can.
Yep. And if you put something like that on a shelf somewhere, it'll be worth a lot of money one day.
That's true.
Yep. Or you won't be able to drive it at all.
That's also true.
Like, there will be no gas stations.
You'll be moonshining fuel in the future instead of moonshine.
You got like an oil well in your backyard and your own like little refinery. I'm still gonna drive this thing. 04 Ram 5.7, 210,000 miles. Is that normal? I would say yeah.
Yeah.
And how can I keep it running? Synthetic oil changes.
Maintain.
Maintenance. Just general maintenance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And oil is really the biggest thing.
For sure.
So take care of it. What do you guys think of the old Ford 5.0 HO motor in or Fox body and early SN95 style Mustangs? You want what they call the Mexican block, right? The strong casting one, which was like 87 or something. And then after that, it's a little bit weaker, but it doesn't make a ton of power. It's just a good solid old V8. So I don't know. That's my take on that. It's a good engine, good V8. Sounds good. 2012 Jeep Wrangler 3.6 is on its fourth motor. Number one, I don't know. 2, a Mopar reman went in due to lifter failure. 3rd, another Mopar reman bad out of the box. 4, random misfires. Wow. I guess you can't limit law because you probably bought that used. but that's incredible.
That's-
4 engines.
That's a lot of bad luck. We really,
Yeah.
the 3.6, other than some rocker issues, we really don't have much bad luck. The previous 3.8 liters, we did put quite a few engines in those for coming apart catastrophically, but the 3.6s are really not a bad motor.
Yeah, that's a weird.
Yeah.
And it's not. I'm sure it's not the car's fault.
That's a weird. That's
weird.
That's bad luck.
Yeah. What are you doing to it? You put sand in it just to see how many it'll go through? Hopefully not. Somebody said, "Is the gas meter in yet?" It went in this morning, so I did get gas on at the warehouse, and then I spent the next hour or so trying to get everything going, and the pilots aren't all here yet, like because I had to order them all. So I have one heater that was running, and then eventually I just turned it off and left because it didn't want to relight. So I'll get it. Is there a reflash on the first gen Chrysler 200 6-speed transmissions? It can take 2 to 3 seconds to downshift when going flat.
Possibly. They're always coming out with new software updates. The only way to tell, though, is being at a dealership, hooking up to the factory scan tool and looking on the screen and seeing what has updates or not. But if it hasn't been in a dealership for a long, long time or ever, then more than likely there's an update for something.
That would absolutely make sense, especially the 200. It's super modern.
Yep.
So why do I see so many Alpha Giuliettas for sale branded as lemons? Well, because all of the Alphas are lemons.
Lots of electrical issues. We also are an Alpha dealer, and we unfortunately do see they're beautiful cars. They are really nice inside, but gosh, they do have at least some electrical gremlins on the ones that we see that come through the door.
And honestly, I think they'll probably lemon law every single one of those cars if you fight for it, because they're so bad. Just no one has anything good to say about the drivetrain, honestly. Pretty quick for a while. Nissan Titan, good trucks for less than Ford, Dodge, and Chevy. I mean, I like the Titan. I don't like the Gen 2 Titan. And Nissan is now redesigning the Titan to make it non-ugly. And it has a really bad interior. So I just don't like the new Titan. The old Titan was probably one of the greatest trucks.
Yeah. My dad had an 05 Titan we bought brand new.
Yep.
He put over 200,000 miles on it. He used it for work, towing. It was a great truck.
Great truck.
Until the end.
And again, you know, those V8s seem to run forever too for being dual overhead cam.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing.
Never had an issue with that engine until the very end. It was getting hot.
It was just, it's just done.
It was done at the end.
Let's see. Charles, thank you so much for your super chat. Will Dodge ever come back with a Charger all-wheel drive RT?
We had the Charger all-wheel drive RT in the police pursuit package only for a long, long time. Yeah. I think they've actually just recently, this model year, nixed that. If you want an all-wheel drive, you have to get the V6 for the police package. You can still get the V8 rear-wheel drive for the police package, but yeah, for the longest time, you still could get a V8 all-wheel drive Charger in the police package. So,
yep, the police way was the way. If you want a cool cop car, though, that Caprice PPV, and the other one that's really cool, the Tahoe PPV, man, Chevy knows how to build cool cop cars. No department would ever buy them, though. That's what's funny. They sell like, I don't know, 5% of what Ford sells. Ford knows how to sell cop cars in reality. Chevy makes cool ones.
Yeah.
And the Charger, of course. The Charger went hard.
Durango, we have Durango.
Oh, there are a lot of Durango ones right now still.
So.
Yeah. What about the Cummins Titan? Hate it, because I hate that whole generation of Titan. And I don't think that's a good Cummins, really. Like, just get the right Cummins in the Dodge. Mopar Mike here. I thought Master Tech. Am I on the channel? Yeah, you're on the
Sure. Yes, you're here.
Here's an interesting one that we can't really speak to at all. 14 Ram 1500 Edelbrock supercharger. Oh, is that a factory thing? Is there a factory?
No,
okay.
Not from.
It's the Edelbrock E-Force that you just
bolt on.
Stock rods and pistons, 5 pounds of boost. Max thoughts about engine longevity. I mean, if Edelbrock engineered it,
I would think so. He was a 5.7, right? The Hemi.
It doesn't say.
Okay, so the 5.7, I believe, takes boost fine. The newer 6.4 stuff, the ringlands are super thin. Those blow ringlands once you get over too many pounds of boost. So those 6.4s don't take boost, but I think the 5.7 is pretty bulletproof on those.
And 5 pounds is really not a lot of
right.
It's super conservative. I mean, most bolt-on superchargers will make 8. So 5 is really babying the thing. And I mean, if Edelbrock engineered it, like we're saying, and it probably comes with a programmer, you're probably fine.
Yeah.
Thoughts on an 03 Magnum V10 pickup? Looking to replace my 04 Ford 2-valve V10. First, I don't really know. either of those V10s very well. They're old workhorse
They're
V10s.
very old workhorse.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not Viperish in any way, shape, or form, other than they're both V10s. They're torquey, but they're getting old at this point. Hard to find that aren't in horrible shape.
I think the problem is going to be when the thing breaks, the parts won't be there.
Right.
I mean, a lot of the easy parts will be there. All this general maintenance stuff, the truck's parts. But when you get into the actual rotating assembly and engine parts, they exist, but it's going to be hard to find. They're going to be expensive, just like the Viper truck. It sucks to work on the Viper truck.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, it's not good. Huge thank you for your super chat. Thank you. This was hilarious. David said, all my cars have the police pursuit package. It's called Outstanding Warrants. That's pretty good. Thoughts on the 545 RFE? Which one is that?
545. That's just our 5-speed rear-wheel drive. Been around forever. It's in my Jeep Grand Cherokee sitting outside. Good transmission as long as you keep both. Keep the filters replaced and fresh fluid in it. It'll last a long time. So.
Yeah, that sounds like normal 4L60 stuff. It won't last a long time, but take care of it. It'll last a little longer. Pizza Man, huge thanks for your super chat. Love the videos. Keep up the great work. Jeep life. SDVW, huge thanks for your super chat. Thanks for watching the channel, man. Hoovie's in here, and he said, my least favorite neighbor because he cost me thousands, which is a good story. You did cost him thousands of dollars. He's literally the worst neighbor. This is pretty funny. Didn't you come over and say that his backyard was no good or something?
No, his wife came over and saw the new houses we were building it.
Right.
My wife had a very fancy closet built with cool looking stuff, and his wife thought that she wanted a
cool closet.
So they remodeled, and he has been unhappy ever since. But it wasn't me. It was my wife. You're watching. It was your fault, not me. I'm innocent.
You could have said no, even though you can't, obviously. Do you have like lights and the shelving and all that?
No, it's just
it's just like a nice.
It's nice, lots of shoe shelves and all those girl things that you want. So yeah, I think he had to do that, and
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Best time to do a fluid change on an 850 RE, just the RE.
50 RE.
That sounds like an 8-speed that isn't something.
Chrysler on all of their 8-speeds, Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge is supposed to be filled for life.
Yeah.
So, and you can't really even check fluid condition because there's a fill plug on the side of the transmission that's just kind of hard to look at. But I don't know. The filter is built into the transmission pan, and the transmission pan is about $300 from the dealership.
One of those plastic cast
exactly.
Okay.
That's a hard question, because ideally I'd like to change my transmission fluid every 60,000 miles, but it requires dealership stuff to do it. So I don't know. My personal 60,000.
But I guess if not, it's either do it at 60,000, spend the money, or run it till it dies.
Exactly. Those are your two options.
That's it. Yeah. And that's what Mercedes, BMW, everybody wants you to do now. Run it till it dies. Because you're probably going to see some cars 150, 200,000 miles out of these transmissions.
Well over 100,000.
Yeah. So you figure 3 fluid changes or $3,000. Probably works out if you do the fluid changes.
Right.
Let's see. Brian, huge thank you for your super chat. What's the factory difference in the tuning on the factory 6.4 in the 300 SRT versus the Ram 6.4?
That is also a good question. They are, I think, very similar blocks, and I think the heads are different, the intakes are different. So there is quite a few hard parts that are different. And obviously the tuning, they've got the trucks tuned for a lot more torque. The power is quite a bit lower on the trucks than the cars. My dad has a 6.4 3/4 ton Ram, great truck. And I like to say it's got the SRT motor since it's got the 6.4 in it.
That's
but
right.
No, they're tuning and a few hard parts there. But
that makes sense. I got 292,000 miles out of a 4L60E. Well, I would say you've done something crazy.
Was it kilometers?
Right. What's that kilometers? You've gotten triple what that thing should have gotten. Every 100,000 you should expect to do one of those old things. Let's see. Now this has turned into just a whole thread about closets. Tyler Hoover is an heir to the Hoover Vacuum Company. That's true. I do know that. He only has Hoover vacuums. I brought a Dyson over once. He said no. Yes. Did you have the major melon? So that was a question yesterday. So Tyler brought it. We have the major melon here, and it is good.
I scoured the Dillon's around the grocery stores and got two.
That's awesome. Can you program a 2020 Dodge Ram 5500 transmission to shift better?
Not with the factory scan tool. That requires some
aftermarket
tuner.
Stuff. Yep. And is it even unlocked? I mean, what we can do here, we'll look for you real quick, but we can go to the HP Tuner supported vehicles list. And I mean, and the question is, shift better? Like, can you make it better?
Does it have an issue that you're trying to fix, or are you wanting a harder, crisper shift?
We're going to Ram 2500. Oh, the Viper's in there. All Viper trucks supported. All the Vipers are in there. Now we're just going to be off track. I don't see anything about. Oh, they do support all the way up to 20 on the SRT4. I mean, the SRT. The SRT 6.4. 21 on the Hellcat. Man, their support is incredible.
We must be very unlocked compared to GM.
Yeah, because GM you can't do anything new at all. That stuff is locked down. So you might be able to tune that truck. It does say the Ram 1500s go up to. Nope, only old stuff. The trucks don't go nearly as new.
Yeah,
trucks are locked down for those emissions reasons, and because not everyone needs to tune the truck. I'd say the truck's probably just fine. Anyway, we looked through the whole list for you. There was another Hoovy comment here. He's my least favorite neighbor, but the only neighbor that talks to me. That's true too. I have a Bissell. No, you can't hang out at Hoovy's. Peach and honey is the best. Sweet Lightning Mountain Dew. And that's the one that's exclusive to KFC, I think.
I have not had that.
I actually went there just to get the Mountain Dew, and it was pretty good. Would you make your own E100 if gasoline goes away? I don't know why you'd want E100 in most cases. I mean, E85 is where it's at. SRT4 Neon build in the future. I mean, I want to do that.
Cool cars. Yeah.
Lots of we need WatchJRGo motorcycle keychains on here. Doesn't really, not a question or anything. State of mass, past right to repair, must unlock software. Yeah, but only in that state, and maybe not for the consumer. There's a whole lot of crazy stuff there. Like, are you guys still covered in ice? We are. Yeah. Is Mopar developing another 2JZ beating engine?
There is supposedly talk of a inline 6. Maybe in like future, like the Grand Wagoneer or something that, I haven't heard anything more than just anybody else can Google online, but possibly turbo inline 6 or inline 6 or something. So that would be cool to get that inline 6 back in a Jeep product, and would be very cool if it was turbo and you could tune it and make bunkers power. So
that would be awesome.
Hopefully, maybe we'll see.
I'm sure the HP Tuner support would be there real quick with that.
Yeah.
Will you be heading? Oh, we talked about that yesterday. Favorite non-new Mopar of all time? For me, it's probably the SRT4 Neon, or an underground racing Viper, but that's not really.
Yeah.
So I like the SRT4.
Vipers are kind of, obviously very cool. We get them in the shop rarely, and they're always feel very special. So
is there a different non-new Mopar that you like?
I don't know. I like all the product line. SRT4s are cool. The Neon was cooler than the Caliber.
Yeah, it was.
But
the thing is, they didn't make any. They didn't sell any Calibers.
Yeah.
So it's kind of super rare, and you get the same engine.
We've got an old man that brings in a SRT4 Neon ACR that is like 4,000 miles on it, but it sits under a tree.
What?
And occasionally original tires, rotten tires.
That car's worth like $25,000.
And it's covered in tree sap. And we every 5 years or so he brings it in. We put a battery in it, but they're very cool.
I need to follow that dude home and offer him as much money as I can, because it's worth so much money. Crossfire SRT6. We talked about that yesterday. MG3. Thank you so much for your super chat. Have a case of adult sodas on me. Love the content. Thanks for watching, man. Thanks for watching. Somebody went and checked out the RP, the TAC, and the LFA, and it is awesome.
It's
cool. Crazy stuff. Talk about the Lexus LFA with its motorized moving tachometer. They sold a lot of Calibers in Michigan. Well, they're all rusted out now.
Had a recall for the rusting out cradles. You had to replace the cradle because they rusted and crumbled so bad.
Crazy. Tyler, do you remove the splitter guards on cars that come in for? Tyler is an entrepreneur of sorts.
Yes, they get pulled off there. Our dealership, we remove all of them like we should. So there's, I don't know, it just looks better not having them on there.
Thank you.
And if the customer wants them, great, we'll give them back. But ideally, we remove them so it doesn't scratch the splitters.
And then they get sold to people that want them.
Yes.
It's a mistake, though. Don't do it. Jake still desires a facelift Magnum. And Hoovy said, guys, take Tyler's advice with a grain of salt. He likes black wheels.
I do have some black wheels on.
I like black wheels.
Yeah. It hides the brake dust. Then I don't have to clean them as much.
Yeah, that's for sure. Hoovy is on. Wait, somebody said at Justin. I didn't see a comment from him. Let me scroll up. Let's see what we got here. Are you excited for the return of the Grand Wagoneer? I am. I think that thing looks amazing.
Yeah. Lots of screens. It's very techy. It'll be awesome.
Somebody in town has a 21 Escalade for sale, like a brand new one. I just want to drive that thing.
Because that has the big, crazy,
huge screen.
Wide,
the whole dash is a screen. It's so cool. Wishing the original Top Gear USA would come back. I haven't watched any of the new Top Gear America. I don't have cable, obviously. And I just watch YouTube, so
yeah,
I probably won't ever have any thoughts on it. I watched the beginning of what was the one Amazon did with them with Clarkson, Hammond, and May.
The
I forgot.
Grand Tour.
Yeah, I watched the first season and a half of that, you know, and then after that, sorry, back to YouTube. Coastal Auto Reaction. We were Hemi swapping a '67 C10 on our channel. Best trans.
That would have a older Hemi would have had that 545 behind it. If it's newer, it would be really cool to have the 8-speed.
Yes.
The 8-speed, that ZF 8-speed is so awesome. If you're manual transing, a TR 6060 is
6060 is a tank.
Yep,
a tank. So and obviously it's really expensive.
Yeah,
you're gonna spend what, 4,000 on a 6060, something like that. But it's pretty bulletproof and a whole lot of power. And then I would love to have the 8-speed, and I think there are standalone transmission controllers.
Yes, for all of the old like rat rod stuff and old vehicles, standalone for engine and transmission. And that 8-speed is really nice.
And it's fast.
Yep.
Have you guys ever go-karted? I'm thinking about doing it until I become an F1 champ in like 6 years. How old are you, Gear Stan? Because if you're not like 5 years old, you should just give up on your F1 dream. I'm sorry. Like, you can't get into it without. First, it helps if you have like billionaires for parents.
Yes.
And it also helps if they like give you to somebody that forces you to kart for the rest of your life. And
we used to have electric go-karts in town, and we used to thrash those really hard.
Every week almost.
Yeah.
We were always there.
Yep.
And it was all for blood. Like, they were like, I mean, we weren't even trying to hit. We were always trying to just get the craziest lap times, and we ended up being some of the fastest people there. But they would say, no bumping, and we'd be like just pushing the carts as fast as we could right up on them. A whole bunch of people are asking about the Elephant, which I don't think is ever going to exist. They made what, like 7 people got them or something?
Right, yeah, a bunch of orders, and so
Stradman might have gotten his. I think he got his.
Yes,
but it's not in the truck.
It's not. I think he has a normal Hellcat motor in his, and the Elephant's waiting, or so.
Yeah, so,
I won't ever see one in my lifetime, I'm sure.
Right.
So,
and I've seen one once at SEMA. It was on a stand.
Yeah.
So, at least it was on a stand. Who knows if it was actually the internals and stuff? But they said it was the Elephant.
Yeah.
And that's probably it. Like, they don't exist, and you can't buy them. And it's $100,000, isn't it?
It's something outrageous.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just buy a Hellcat and turn it up?
Right. Yep.
V6 Chrysler 200, 2014. Engine oil cooler puked oil in the V of the engine 3 times. This
super cold weather is taking out oil coolers on all of our 3.6 stuff. I've got one in my stall at work right now that is on a Cherokee. So that's unfortunately very common. We are now running into supplier issues on our oil coolers and running out of them. So
they changed the whole oil cooler. Does it break?
There's seals and gaskets that'll break or leak, and then there's some
like
plastic plugs in the front that are kind of melted in that leak.
Gotcha.
So there's a few different failure points, but typically you fix it with a whole new cooler.
But it is probably not too expensive. It's not like that Porsche nonsense that I just
No, it's pull the intake off, you're right there. So
Nice.
it's not too bad. A couple $100 maybe for the factory one. There's some cheap aftermarket ones out there. I haven't played with any of those.
Wouldn't.
So
I probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where you don't want to mess around because it's going to fail on a road trip. And you'll be like, well, I guess I'll tow this home.
Right.
So, put the OEM one back in there. Let's see. Something about, Ben, huge thank you for your super chat. Again, that we were talking about your
oil
V6.
cooler. Yep.
Oil cooler. I'm retired. I'm going to turn my new grandson into a race car driver. That's what's up. Do it. You gotta like put his entire life into karting. Here you go, kid. Are you going to work on cars for others? If you buy the car from me, it will be for you. There you go. Are you a Mopar guy? I'm not a huge Mopar guy. I'm not really like a Mopar. I'm a big SRT guy. I think that was the best era of Dodge. Whistling Diesel is looking for a new truck. See if he wants to buy the Viper truck. Okay.
I'll call him.
Yeah, I don't have his number. How long would you keep a 4-liter inline 6 in service? The Jeep one?
The
old one? Forever. Like 1 million miles.
We see them come in with 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 miles. It's a tractor motor, basically. The thing will run forever, even abused, lack of oil changes. Those things just kind of keep on ticking on. So yeah, they keep it going until it comes apart. So
somebody said, JR, you ain't slick. I heard that new T-Swift joint blaring from the warehouse last weekend, which is hilarious because that was probably happening. Who doesn't love Swifty? Even the Rock loves Swifty. So you can't hate on that. XC90 as a first car. Like, I don't know. I mean, how baller are you? The XC90 is like 100,000 if you do an inscription.
SUV? Or
that's
the
Volvo SUV, and it's like 106,000 loaded.
Yeah,
I mean that'd be the coolest first car.
You'll look good going to school.
Yeah. Is this Twilight? I don't know. That's not much of a question. I never would have had that as a first car. XC90, not a chick magnet. I think that is not true. The girls probably love that thing. It has tufted, quilted leather seats. No crystal shifters.
No pillow.
No pillow, though. It's no minivan. It's no minivan. We ran a 4.0 with no oil pan there, tanks. That sounds absolutely right. Eric and I, this is a good story. When he had a 92,
Cherokee?
Yeah, the little Cherokee.
Yeah,
the blue one.
Yeah.
The blue one, right? Because they were all that weird, like faded light blue.
Yeah.
And one night we were out doing donuts in the middle of a dirt road intersection, right? And we just sat there and we kept doing donuts and kept doing donuts. And then we couldn't see anything in any direction forever, basically. And it's like pitch black. And Eric's like, all right, let's go. And he just steers out of it. I'm like, church. And there's like suddenly a little like one door church right beside where we were heading. And he like jerks the wheel and I'm like, tree, stick. And we slammed right into that tree. And we threw it in reverse, drove home, and we like went out the next morning. The front end was all crushed. It started right up, of course.
Yeah.
But all the coolant was gone. And oh man, we pulled the bumper out and put a radiator in it. Fine. 4.0 can't die. Have you ever driven a classic Volvo, like a 247, 49, 60? I haven't really driven any of the bricks, and I am a big fan of the P cars. How did you meet Tanner Brongard? Look, that's not very Mopar related. I was out riding, and he was in his R8, and I was like, "What's up?" And he was like, "What's up?" And that was it. That's how I met him.
Good guy. Yeah. Talked to him through the car group, and
absolutely
good dude.
Always. He randomly shows up. Lots of LS questions here. Lots of Iron Duke questions here. What if the real project cars were the friends we made along the way? Well, that's all it actually is. Is Cars and Coffee still a thing? Yes. You have a turbo brick in your driveway. Pretty cool. Lots of Volvo. Would you do a Hellcat swap into a Dodge Charger? I mean, can't you just
buy it? Or maybe he means old Charger,
like an old school one.
Yeah,
well, that'd be cool, but that's gotta be done
many times.
Many times. Like that's like a Ring Brothers build. XC90 is a pig, but does it matter? The XC90 is turbo supercharged.
Are those still inline 5?
I don't remember what the engine is, but
I'm not sure either.
Turbo supercharged, spin charged. Yeah, really, really cool. Isaac, huge thanks for your super chat. Opinions on the Demon, is it worth it? Yes, the Demon is completely worth it if you can afford one.
Very cool.
Super cool car.
Yep.
Yeah. The giant splitter is crazy.
And the big Demon crate you
Yeah,
get is
man,
cool, and all
what a car.
the tools, and yeah, cool cars.
Do you have battery tenders for all your cars? I don't.
I keep a few on them.
Yeah, you really do. You have a lot of cars though. You got your RX-7, the truck, the Miata, Prius, Camaro. What else?
The Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Grand Cherokee.
And the Kawasaki Ninja.
Pretty much an Elliott collection.
Yeah.
You got, Prius, Cherokee.
Right. Yep.
Which Ninja is that?
ZX 13 ZX6R, the 636.
Okay,
yep.
That's a great,
cool looking. Yeah. Yep.
I love those things. 12 Grand Cherokee factory car starter is not working. Common causes: hood sensor or CEL. Well, the hood sensor only comes into play if you're remote starting. Is that what you're talking about? So, like, if the hood's open, it shouldn't remote start, and if there is a check engine, maybe.
Right. Depending on the check engine light, if it's a engine related code, then it isn't going to remote start because it doesn't want to hurt itself. But yeah,
exactly. They have 250s had its check engine light on for 2 months now, and it remote starts perfectly every time. But it's an emissions check engine light, so if it was the engine, it definitely would not start. So it depends on what the check engine light is. How many generations on current gas cars until they focus on EVs? Well, we already know that's kind of over. So, and we talked about the Jaguar XJA 220 the other night. It's one of those cars I don't ever want to drive. It might ruin it for me. Might ruin the perfection. Nope, any check engine light will not prevent it. That's definitely not a thing. It depends on the check engine light.
Correct. Yep.
The check English light. Yeah. Do you see any issues with the late 2000s manual trans and a caliber Jeep Compass?
Yeah, we have bearing issues on the later model kind of manual trans. Well, I guess the brand newest stuff, no. I'm thinking of like 05 through 12-ish. In there, we have some, bearing issues. But the brand new stuff, we don't have too many manual transmission issues, no?
Well, there's also not a lot of manual transmissions left.
That's
either.
true.
It's
yeah.
rare.
Few and far between. Yep.
Pretty much what? The Wrangler,
and little Compass, Renegade, some of the small stuff you can still get a manual in, but
because
very rarely.
It's just the Abarth, so that kind of makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. How come Chrysler and Dodge just have so many transmission problems for so many years? Honestly, like everyone has transmission problems.
And I think that was kind of older Dodge stuff. I think new stuff we seem to be, where we should be. I don't think we have an excessive amount compared to the kind of older stuff. So,
and honestly, the 8-speed and 10-speed from like everybody is really good.
Yeah.
The 8-speed Chevy is kind of but the 10-speed's killer. Is Chrysler name going to die? I don't know. It's a great question.
No idea. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like, do they make anything remarkable right now?
Pacifica is really
just
nice.
The Pacifica.
Yeah.
What else? I mean,
300 is still a thing.
The 300 still exists.
There's no performance 300 right now.
Right. It's like a shell of what it was.
Yeah.
And then of course the 200 is kind of something they could kill. I mean, Ford killed all those cars.
I think 200 is dead. If I'm not.
Okay, maybe.
I think 200's gone. So we have a 300 and a Pacifica. That's
pretty much the only thing keeping it alive.
Yeah.
So it could definitely go away. Luke again says, "What about the 2014 XC90?" And I don't know. Doesn't matter. I guess it's a cool old Volvo. The 200 is dead. Do you think Mitsubishi should stop selling their cars in the U.S. until they get back on their feet?
Other than we still need that Mirage sitting on the corner of the dealership with the $9,999 price tag.
That's all they're giving it for. I was gonna go. So the Eclipse Cross is just makes all of us sick. I think.
Right.
As car people, how do you go ruin the name of the Eclipse?
Yeah.
And then of course they have like a big SUV now that might be nice. And then the Mirage, the base model, is like the worst car you can possibly buy.
Right.
I don't know.
I think what is it? Fuji Industries or Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, the big company that does more than cars, is
heavy equipment.
Such a big company that I assume that'll just keep it
They'll
puttering
just
along.
keep making junk.
Yeah. So
lots of thoughts on Alfa Romeo. We talked about that earlier in the stream.
yeah.
So, electrical problems, reliability problems.
Great looking car.
Great looking car.
Quadrifoglio, Giulia's run really quick. Great looking cars, look cool. Kind of some electrical issues. 4Cs are cool looking cars.
4C's a beautiful car.
Yeah,
I love it. Again, Luke's here with there we go. Jerry took it out. I was like, stop posting the same thing about the Volvo XC90. Will the Jeep XJ ever be a collector's car? A collector's SUV? I don't know.
Get on, bring a trailer. Those things, they're clean, low mileage.
miles.
I've got a buddy that always, has one, builds it and sells it. A nicely put together one that's not just thrashed and rusty will bring good money to a Jeep person. So.
Right. And honestly, any old car at this point that is low miles is going to bring a lot of money on bringing a trailer.
Yeah.
It's weird because especially all the 90s stuff that was from, they were hero cars back in the day. Now they're bringing crazy money.
Yeah.
More than like a 67 Camaro. Like that S2000 right now that's on bringing trailer is going to crack $100,000. There's not a 67 Camaro bringing that unless it's some like stupid rare combo.
Right.
So, whatever you have, if you keep the miles off it and keep it clean, it will probably bring crazy money in the future.
And leave it stock-ish.
Leave it stock.
Yeah.
You can't modify it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every mod you do is taking away money.
Yep.
Yeah. Somebody the other day offered me, it was pretty funny, for the Viper truck, they wanted to trade me an SN95 with a supercharger. He was like, it's clearly worth $15,000. I was like, that's worth $3,000, bro. You can't modify a car and say it's worth more.
Right.
It was pretty funny. Thoughts on the Gladiator? I think the Gladiator was the best car of 2019. That's what I had always called it.
I would buy one tomorrow if I didn't need to tow the Camaro on the car trailer to tracks. The V6, you can get the diesel now, but a full-size tow vehicle is gonna, of course, tow better than a mid-size. But I would buy it tomorrow if I didn't need to tow as much as I do.
And I really like it. I was in love with it when it came out. And I drove Tyler's, loved it. And then kind of like Tyler said, it really turned into kind of a nothing. Everybody bought them because they were so good looking.
Lots of early adopters for sure. Yeah.
And then it kind of like all waned. And I feel like I want to see the new sales numbers on that because they're probably about gone. I mean, obviously they're going to keep making them, but I don't think it's selling anything like it used to.
Yeah.
Because weirdly it is in a bad place. Position is trying to be everything.
With the new 392 V8 Wrangler coming, if they put that in the Gladiator,
they put that in the Gladiator,
some big truck sale.
It's fixed. Yeah, it's fixed.
So you'll definitely get some buyers, I would think, with a V8 in that thing.
Absolutely, that would be the game changer for them. Don't LS swap that Camaro. No, my Camaro didn't matter. It's not worth a bunch of money or anything like that. Thoughts on the new Pacifica? We already talked about that.
Cool.
Yeah, really, really cool. Are the SRT8 6.4 engines interchangeable between Dodge and Jeep? Yeah, it should be the same engine. Right?
The oil pan should be different between a truck and a Jeep and a car, but the block and all of the heads should be the same.
Makes
roughly.
sense. Yeah. Just like the LS.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's a pretty building block engine now.
Yeah.
It's really well known, obviously really reliable. Buy it. Thoughts on a cheap Abarth? Have done. You might end up with the brick failure, multi-air failure.
They make good noises.
Really good noises. Yeah. Everyone thinks it's a supercar. SRT10 Gladiator. That'll never happen. But
you'll have to build that yourself.
It's an idea. Yeah. I'd rather have a Hellcat than Gladiator all day. I don't know. The Hellcat's the engine. The SRT10 engine is not really good. Do you miss your V10 BMW? Absolutely. We've talked about SRT at length here. We talked about cheap Abarths. Tyler's the Mopar tech. LS Swap a Gallardo, that's been done. Everybody misses V10 BMWs. They're always at the dealer. That's true. My 5.7 Hemi has a slight mild miss at idle, I'm assuming. Did a tune-up, no help.
Possible cam and lifter issue. If it's wiping out a cam lobe, that's why you've got a little miss.
You got to figure it out. I mean, scan it,
see if you got a misfire.
Tune up after,
check compression and kind of start down the path of inevitably possibly pulling heads and checking lifters.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Like that's just troubleshooting. Start at the beginning and work down. And obviously scanning everything is the first place.
Yeah.
It's the easiest thing. Are Burble tunes overrated? I love them.
I like pops and stuff.
I like
right?
dumb
Yeah.
noise.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's really bad ones out there that do like melt pistons and stuff. So, you know, plan on blowing up your engine maybe. He might not address the Saab. What are we talking about on the Saab? Like there's nothing there to talk about. It's a Saab. I love it. It's a great car. Cam not getting oil at idle on a Hemi engine. Well, do you know the cam's not getting oil?
Sludged up engine possibly, but yeah, normally we don't have oiling issues. We just have the lifter issue causing the cam failure.
Here's a good one. Thoughts on the EcoDiesel? Because I hate that engine.
There's the first gen, second gen EcoDiesel. They're all in the same truck, obviously. And now we've got the brand new third gen EcoDiesel. Supposedly they've got all the bugs worked out of that third gen EcoDiesel versus all of the issues we had with the first and second gen EcoDiesel. So time will tell. We haven't had any of the newest third generation EcoDiesels have issues yet, but we'll see if they hold up. Hopefully they do, because we don't like pulling cabs off trucks and doing engines. So.
I'm assuming the new EcoDiesel has it makes power finally, right?
Yeah, there was a recall on the second gen EcoDiesels, well, first and second, that after the reflash they were a dog.
Oh,
we probably drove one that had the software update.
I drove like the day the EcoDiesel released, basically one of those ran, and I hated it.
They've since come out with a software update that fixes a lot of the lag, so they're better-ish.
And like I don't know how they couldn't turn the thing up. I mean, it's a diesel. You just throw a bunch of boost at it. The only real problem is making sure there's no emissions. The comments are funny. Honda needs to make another rear-wheel drive car. Well, I don't know if they do, and I don't know if they care to. Like that's just not their brand anymore. We talked about mining and computers yesterday. Ram TRX, another great subject here. A Ram with a Hellcat.
We hopefully next month, we've got quite a few on order for customers, obviously.
Are you marking them up?
We are not. We are a good dealership. We do not do dealer added markup. So we
can I still order one right now if I run it? If you're not marking them up, I would kind of want one.
Yeah, I'm trying to sell off all my fleet to get one. So hopefully, you know, the RX-7's gone. Maybe the Ram's gone soon. So we'll see. The RX-7's getting on a boat and going across the ocean.
Crazy. I heard that deal is nuts. That was pretty nuts. So the TRX is the new king of trucks, gas trucks, that is.
Yeah.
And I do think that might be the greatest thing to have. It's just so cool.
Very cool.
It looks beautiful. It makes power.
Hopefully Ford comes with that Raptor R thing that they were talking about next year with a supercharged V8, and they can keep battling and going on. So
when I was early on driving the first gen Raptor, I hated that thing. With what's the big, the 6.2?
The 6.2.
The 6.2 was a pig.
Yeah.
I mean, slowest thing. I mean, EcoDiesel levels of slow is still a little faster than EcoDiesel.
Yeah.
And of course, it was big and heavy. It rode nice, but it just had a lot of options and was terrible. Of course, I think that's why I think the second gen Raptor is the king. Especially, it doesn't matter which engine, the 5.0 or the EcoBoost.
Right.
So hopefully the TRX just stunts all over all those things. That's really what I want.
Yep.
Because I want it to actually be fast.
Yeah. So hopefully I'll put one in the garage this year-ish, maybe. If all goes well.
That would be cool.
Jump it. Not big jump, but small, correct jumping.
You're not doing a street speed or with some diesel on it?
No.
Pizza. We got the Godfather in here. Was it Hoovy's Raptor? No, this was a dealer Raptor I wanted to buy. It was when Raptors hit their depression. No, the first gen Raptor had 2 engine options. I think it maybe
5.4 and the 6.2.
Yeah, and I drove a 6.2, which was supposed to be the king, and it was terrible. It was not the king. But yeah, it was like 30 grand, 35. It was when Raptors were big in the depression, and I should have bought it because now that truck's worth more.
Yeah,
it's worth way more than that. 5 years later, I could have sold it for more money. Crazy. It's just nuts what happened to trucks. Did you hear the new exhaust note on the Ford Raptor? Sounds like a GTR. I could believe that.
Watched a few videos, obviously haven't seen any in person, but yeah, they've got a new exhaust with a active valve and they supposedly worked on it to make it sound even better or better.
Yeah. Viking Warrior says you can't be a Mopar tech because your hands are too clean.
Oof, my hands are really trashed. They're bad. They look clean, but they're cracked and destroyed.
Also, some of us don't need to get like nasty to work on cars.
I wear rubber gloves constantly if I'm touching a vehicle, but no, they're very broken.
Yeah, I pretty much wear gloves all the time when I'm actually working, not on camera. There will be a Demon Swap Gladiator in town soon. That I could see.
That would be cool.
That's cool. What quad do you have? I have a Honda TRX 400. It's the classic, most reliable thing that was ever built, and really good. 96K 2500 just turned 25. Is now a historical vehicle. New classic GMT 400 trucks. We're going to work on a GMT 400 soon. Will the Ram TRX be like your red truck in 5 years? If you buy a TRX and park it, if you're trying to make money on it, park that thing.
That's worked for the Demon people that have bought them, not done anything with them, parked them. They're selling them for $50K more in a short few years. So they're going for 140, 150K, and they were 90 to 100 new. So those guys are making good money.
Or they paid the dealer markup and they're not making any.
That is true. I didn't think about that since we're a good dealer and we don't dealer markup stuff. So.
There are a lot of Demons selling for. I think I saw some 175s on Demons, which was insane. Yeah. That's pretty funny. Dealer techs where I live don't have custom built houses with shoe closet chandeliers. Well, maybe they should be more successful. Ford is really milking the 3.5 EcoBoost. That's because they need to kill all their V8s and go to just the EcoBoost. It's really good. And eventually that's what we'll end up with anyway. The V8s are gone after this. This is like the pinnacle of performance. You guys all know this. Like we're not rehashing or we're coming up with any new idea or anything. V8s are dead after this. After the Hellcat generation and Ford dropping like the last of the 5.0s, it will only be V6s, and then they'll get rid of all of it, and it'll only be EVs. So there's not a lot of time left for these engines. Long live the V8s. Yeah, F in the chat for the V8s is what it really is.
Which they'll still be around. I mean, they're still gonna be on the road for a long, long time. But
they won't vaporize, but
correct.
They won't be made anymore.
Right.
Either. Yep. So heart. 3.5 and 3.7 water pumps are a pain.
3.5 and 3.7 water pumps. 3.5, yeah, timing belt ran. If they leak, they'll build up a bunch of coolant and skip the belt, and bad things happen. 3.7 is just bolted on the front timing cover, but yeah. 2.7. You're meaning 2.7 and 3.5. Yes, both of those not fun to do for sure.
2018 SRT Demon is 280 grand in Australia. Well, there's a crazy conversion rate.
Okay.
So, Rams are. Huffy bikes rule. No. I'm going to have to disagree. I try to stay out of the Walmart bike game. Is Stellantis killing off Mopar and Chrysler specifically? I don't think so. Not yet. There's no news like that. You should actually have really, really good idea. This gearhead here has a great idea. He's going to start buying LS engines and holding them like stocks. If you went out and bought like as many Hellcats as you could right now,
sit them in a warehouse.
Put them in a warehouse. Literally just go to every dealer you can and order like one Hellcat or have them ship it to you.
Yeah.
I should just put up pallet racking and fill it with brand new LS engines, what's left of them, especially the rare performance ones, and Hellcat engines and a Demon engine if I could get it. And just hang on to them, and they'll all sell for like $10,000 more.
Yeah. If you could afford to sit on them for multiple years, you would be doing well.
Yeah, because they're literally going to go away, but you're probably gonna have to hang on to them for 15 years because they'll probably have parts availability that long. So you got to wait till those things go away. So it's a lot of money to sit on every one of those engines. What's a Hellcat cost? $8,000, $10,000?
Probably on secondhand market.
Oh no, it's probably $14,000. So I guess just plan on investing $1 million in engines if you want to make money. What's killing the V8s? The EPA laws, the government.
Yeah, Cafe wants that number to be higher and higher. So
yep, they're gonna take them out. Yeah, that's for sure. Old aluminum GM big blocks are worth 50 grand. Yep. Okay, better off buying Bitcoin. You probably are. It's a very finite supply, and it will go up much faster than those engines will. And you don't have to have a warehouse to store them.
Yeah, it's easier to keep them in a Yeah.
There's probably a lot of smarter things to do with your money. You can sell Bitcoin every day. You can't really sell your Hellcat every day. Are you going to stockpile R8 engines? I am not. Not at all. What do you think about the 4.7 V8 Magnum? I have one with 271,000 miles on it, and I want to know what others think. Sounds like you're doing really, really well.
4.7. I've got it in my Grand Cherokee. Pretty bulletproof engines. As long as you don't overheat them, you overheat them. They've got, you know, valve seat issues. The valve seats will drop. So keep them cool, and they'll run for a long time.
CAFE doesn't apply to heavy duty trucks, so some V8s might survive, but those will probably be diesels.
Yeah.
So, you know, we'll see. 2.7 is the worst engine ever.
Pretty bad rap.
Probably.
They get sludged up super easily, and you're correct.
Do you know any Wichita celebrities? Well, Hoovy. I don't know. who else is a Wichita? I mean, Harrison Ford's here a lot, and then that one, Allie Beal or whatever.
Christy Alley?
Christy Alley. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
she's here a lot.
Yep.
Those are the only like celebrities. Barry Bonds' brother, Barry Sanders or whatever. You know,
yeah,
I don't know.
yep.
One of those guys. One of the Sanders brothers, Byron Sanders or something, is from Wichita. That's pretty much it. Have actually met that guy. Can I please get a shout out so I can brag to my girlfriend, Christian? There you go. Go brag to your girlfriend. Hopefully she's watching. She might be a genius storing 10 LS engines for 10 years. It might be profitable. The problem with me storing a bunch of LS engines is that, like, the first day I'd be like, well, might as well open up that box and put it in.
He would be putting them in everything. So yeah,
I'd open every LS. Oh, we got to use it, man. This one's good. I actually overheated a Magnum and it didn't kill it. Well, that's definitely true as long as it's very short. Good evening from Charlotte. Finally stopped raining. Good. The GM 3.6 VVT is GM's worst motor. I don't think it is. If you're talking about the LFX that was in that Camaro I did, other than timing issues.
The older LLTs had timing change stretch issues, but the LFX motors were good. I had one in a Camaro, mini Camaros ago, and I liked it. Good power, didn't have any issues. So
yeah, V6s are really good now. They all make like 300 horsepower.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Let's see. Lots of things about storing engines in the warehouse here. We turned it into that. I could never own a junkyard like J&J. I'd want to fix them all. So that's a problem. They pull a lot of those cars and they fix them. And they end up like playing with them or doing, like, when you buy when you're running a salvage yard, you just turn into like buying all your dreams and then playing with them.
I'm always so sympathetic. You know, I'll go through our local pick and pull yards and go, man, why is this here? What's wrong with it? You know, it looks so nice.
There was a PT Cruiser GT there at OKQ, and I was like, I need it.
Yeah,
I need it. Can I change 2006 Hummer 3 ignition with a 2008? I don't know.
As long as the connector's the
Just
same.
Go to O'Reilly's website and click on 06 and get the part, and then change it to 08 and see if it's the same part number.
Yeah.
And there's your answer. Or Rock Auto or whatever. Whatever. Like I don't care what you use. Like all of those are good references. I don't buy anything from Rock Auto, but I sometimes use their parts
for a parts catalog.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
To get a part number, go to for sure.
Yep. Or you can just call O'Reilly's. They'll tell you.
YJ build in the future. YJs, unfortunately, are almost all rusted out at this point. The frames are broken in half. YJs are few and far between in the Wrangler world, unfortunately.
You can probably, somebody's got to be repopping those frames by now.
That's true.
That'd be cool. Yeah, that would solve it.
Yeah.
Drew, huge thanks for your super chat. Funniest experience training new tech. What you got?
I'm thinking of all the times I messed things up while I was the new tech training. You know, maybe, forgetting or thinking you forgot to put a bolt back in, and you're at home that night sleeping, and you wake up in the middle of the night and go, oh my God. And you get there and you didn't forget it. But there's many funny things. Dumped over oil drainers, new guy rolling the oil drainer across the shop, and it dumps 15 gallons of oil all over the shop.
Catches the drain in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So.
Oh man. What transmissions in the 4.7 Grand Cherokee?
4.7 Grand Cherokee would have the 545 in it that we kind of hit on earlier a little bit. So
definitely did.
Pretty bulletproof.
Yep.
So.
Lots of questions about what planes are here and the Koch brothers. And the Koch brothers are, of course, here, but technically not even in Wichita. their place is definitely in Wichita, but it's not part of the city. It's part of the county. It's really crazy. Top secret up in there. The ZL1 is the ZL1 the best car ever?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think it's the best car ever. It's a very good. It's a track car.
It's a good car for the value. It competes with stuff 2 and 3 times its price on the track. But no, there's much cooler stuff. It's just a cool thing that I could
absolutely
swing.
Great car. Yeah. What's a good car under $5K? Well, since we're talking about Mopar, what's the good Mopar car under $5,000?
Gosh.
You can buy a first gen 300 for that. With a Hemi.
Those were great cars, rode great. The LX, Magnum 300 Charger stuff. Those are pretty bulletproof cars. With the 3.5 or the 5.7 or 6.1, if you can find them, they're pretty cheap at this point. But yeah, that's a great chassis.
I don't know what else we have in there. There's got to be more than just that. There's a lot of good Mopar stuff under $5,000.
Second gen Jeep Grand Cherokees are super cheap because nobody really cares about them or uses them for off-road. You can find those. They drive nice. With that 4-liter engine, they run forever. So,
and you can get that if it's the gen I'm thinking of. You can get it with the Overland.
Yes.
With the 360 in it, which is a crazy Jeep.
Yep.
Like that is a lot of Jeep for the money. It's weirdly fast, nice interior.
The first gens with that 5.9 limited.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, 5.9 limited. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Yeah. So those were the first kind of SRT before there was SRT with the big motor in them. So
exactly. Did you get hit with the rolling blackout? Not yet. They keep saying they sent emails saying they could shut off the power at any time. My power has not gone off yet.
The grocery store I went to get the Mountain Dew was out of power for like 3 hours today. I finally went after lots
of the city is actually down, but Andover hasn't gone down. Perks of Andover. I'm sure the mayor said they can't shut the power off. I'm guessing because like in Houston, the mayor wouldn't let them shut downtown off and then shut off everything around them.
Yeah,
I have a feeling the mayor here was like no, so I'm not upset about that.
Renegade or Cherokee, because you can get the 3.6 liter V6. The Renegade you can't. The 3.6 is a great V6, like we talked about. 300 horsepower, small, great, good motors. Other than that oil cooler.
There you go. There you go. 1964 Pontiac Tempest 326. That's not something I know a lot about because I'm not really into the classic.
Yeah.
I just can't really speak to that. It's probably fun. 326 is a big engine. Did your gas meter turn up? It did this morning, and now we're about to get it all done. Worst motor either of you have worked on? It's a great question.
3-liter, old 3-liter in older Grand Cherokees, not the new Eco Diesel. There was a Vernon, or it was a Mercedes diesel in our 3rd gen Grand Cherokees. They're just so packed in there and weird swirl valves behind the turbo, and we don't work on very many. So that's something that I really cringe when it comes in the door. But everything else I'm relatively well versed on. So
yeah, and most of the time it just doesn't matter. You can wrench on it.
Yeah.
But every once in a while there's something that's really annoying.
Yeah.
And for me, it was probably the Porsche recently.
Yeah.
I was not happy about that.
And I have not ever touched Porsches with. Yeah, that's not something I've got to play with.
Everything was a nightmare. Everything needed a special tool.
Yeah.
You couldn't just get in there with any normal tools like you'd work on normal cars. 1999 Mazda Protege. Good car. Bulletproof. Will they bring the Commander back? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Can they bring it back as a luxury SUV? That's really the question.
I think that spot's already filled with the Grand Wagoneer and the Wagoneer and the new Grand Cherokee. So I don't think that there's a spot for it.
Yeah, I don't either. I think the Grand Wag is going to sell so hard that Jeep's going to just ball out of control.
Yeah.
I can only imagine they pre-sold thousands and thousands of them.
Right.
Because it's like the new Escalade, but an Escalade with that's not an Escalade. Too many people have Escalades. You don't want to be another one with them. Let's see. People are just kind of posting cars. Grand Am GT. Yep, that's a car with a good drivetrain. what do you think of the new Ford Bronco? That's a good question for sure.
I'll let your
No, I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's it'll be like the new. It could be the best car of 21. I don't know, because it's beautiful. They actually kind of maintained its namesake, which is rare.
Yeah.
Like the Grand Wag is nothing. Like, I mean, it was a big truck back in the day, but what they built is very different.
Right.
It's definitely a Luxo barge or whatever. I like the Bronco a lot.
Me being a Jeep purist or a Jeep person, the only thing that I can ever complain about on the new Bronco, because they are really cool and they look good and all of that, is that they didn't go solid front axle like a current Wrangler for off-road rock crawling. But that's kind of the only thing that I get to complain about when people post about them. But no, I've got a couple buddies with them on order, and so we'll hopefully get to see them and go off-roading, and they're going to do amazing because it's a brand new vehicle, rear locker, all the stuff you need. So
a lot of people are saying the Bronco is an Escape, but those people are very wrong. The Bronco Sport is an Escape, and it's tiny, and the Bronco is its own truck.
Yep.
So it's not at all. So you might look into that some more. The big Bronco is a full-on truck. We talked about the Bolt EUV yesterday. Not talking about it anymore. I hate the way it looks. Also, the Bronco is missed the mark completely. Bronco does not equal Escape. Stop posting it. Only the Bronco Sport. Is Mopar a U.S. thing only? Absolutely not. I think you can buy all that stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm going to block the next Bronco Escape comment. Like, permanently block, because you're lying. It's not true. Crazy One Cundy, thank you for your super chat. And best swap for the Lolo Ram 47 has lifter problems. All right, so I actually know this is John. He's another YouTuber, and he has a slammed, like, this thing is laid out. It was an old like SEMA truck, and of course it's got a failed 47 in it. What should he do? Do you want to swap it?
Oh.
Yes, I do, but you must supply a Hellcat.
A turnkey Hellcat swap.
Turnkey Hellcat.
Ready to go.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Actually, it does need a Hellcat. That'd be cool. Yeah, there you go. The real Bronco is the Ranger, which is a full-size truck. I know you might think the Ranger is like a mini truck, but it's not. The Ranger's huge. New Viper? No.
Haven't heard any word of that.
I don't think it'll happen.
I don't think so either. Yeah.
I think they're done unless they like come back with the Viper EV.
And I think the issue kind of there at the end was you could buy a Hellcat for cheaper than a Viper that had more horsepower. So of course the Viper's special and cool, but on paper, I want 700 horsepower for less than the Viper.
Right.
And I can haul the family in it.
And insurance is less.
Yeah.
And I mean, everything about the Viper is expensive. What got you involved with working on vehicles from your dad, or what? Huge thanks for your super chat, Bobby. What's your answer?
I started really young with remote control cars. I would get a new one for Christmas, and before I'd play with it, I'd dismantle it down to the motor and then build it back together, and just always had that niche to, work on cars and just kind of translate it into now. So
yeah, still working on cars. And then I just worked on stuff with my dad my whole life, starting with like lawnmowers in reality. Small engines. Small engines first, because single cylinder stuff gets you into the conceptual engine stuff. And then you just kind of keep going. We've talked about the SRT4 a lot in this chat here. Any modern Dodge V8 pickups good for 300,000 trouble free? Maybe all of them?
Yeah,
but maybe not,
as long as you don't have the lifter issue.
Right. If you take care of it, we'll see. Scotty Kilmer says never buy. Scotty Kilmer says never buy anything that's not a Toyota. None of those opinions matter, guys. It's just Toyota, Toyota, Toyota. Everyone else is wrong. But here's GM knocking out of the park all the time. Lots of great Chrysler engines out there. Everybody makes good cars.
Yep.
Favorite car from the Fast and Furious movies?
The Skyline's always been my dream car, like many people. So that's hands down for me is the R34. So
Brian's Eclipse. It's got to be
very cool.
No, I don't know. I don't have a great answer. I think they put an Aventador in one finally, and the Aventador is like my favorite. Yeah, like it's the Grail car kind of for me,
right?
And like the craziness that is Bugatti and stuff. But now everything's been in there, so you have a wide range of choices in Fast and Furious. But I love the old 4G63 Eclipse just because that was like the hot rodding era.
Yeah.
big turbos, stupid mods. They
Yep.
didn't break. You could
Yeah.
you could be like way wrong,
Yep.
and it just handle the power.
Yeah.
Forged bottom ends in the 4G. I mean, that Eclipse is cool. How do you not go Charger? Oh, I don't like Dom's Charger that much. I mean, it's cool. The fake wheelies are cool,
Yeah.
but if you watch like the behind the scenes where they lift it up with cables, it takes all the coolness out. Yeah, Scotty Kilmer doesn't work on cars either. Matt McGee, huge thanks for your super chat. Shout out from Edwards Air Force Base, F-35, flight test maintenance, rust-free cars, and Engels Crest Highway Funway. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Working on the old Joint Strike Fighter, the JSF. Huge thanks for your super chat. Thanks for your service, man. It looks like you're having a lot of fun, and I like the JSF. Cool plane. Would you do a collab with Scotty? Sure, absolutely. And I do get where he's coming from. I also like not working on cars, and that's why I like Toyotas. But at the same time, I mean, what kind of fun are you having if you're not doing it?
Right. Yep.
You're just buying Toyotas.
Priuses at that.
Priuses.
Yes.
Yeah, because the Prius is obviously the king of reliability, other than the early engines.
Or nitrous.
Or nitrous. Chargers and 300s seem to be driven by. Okay, this is just stereotyping. Is Mr. Beast from Kansas? He's not. I don't think.
I don't believe so.
I don't know. Would you buy a Dodge Superbird? Yeah, if I had $7 million and I could spend one of them on a car. Those things are crazy expensive. Yeah, I think they're all 1 million. Yeah, we definitely time out spammers just for fun. Henry, huge thanks for your super chat. If you can get it, try Bodhi. Huh. Never heard of it.
I haven't heard of it either.
Why don't you like Rock Auto? Because after you order everything, they tack on $1 million in shipping.
The shipping is outrageous. Yeah.
And if they would they just needed to figure that out a long time ago. Plus, O'Reilly's is always right here or right there. No matter where I'm at, it's one block from my house or shop.
Yeah.
And they're the king of getting parts immediately, and the prices are already great. So why? I just like them. Also, their guys are really knowledgeable for the most part.
Yep.
Depends on where you're at. Some people say they don't have a lot of luck with over-the-counter parts stores, but I have a lot of luck with them, and I think they always have the best guys.
Yep.
By far. Who's the guy next to JR? We've been talking about this before, early on the stream. Tyler Potter, another YouTuber, Mopar Master Tech, and dealer tech currently for FCA. Working on all the things. Old Nissans are fine because you can't buy the transmissions for nothing, but all old Nissans were really reliable. When did the transmissions ever fail?
Yeah.
Like, I grew up with the old Nissans, and they were bulletproof. Have you met Chris Fix? Yes, it was hilarious. I'm walking at SEMA 19 when I met like everybody that I hadn't. Tavarish was there we were all hanging out, and of course Rob Dom, and then all of a sudden Rich Rebuilds just shows up on a podcast that we did together, and we talked for a long time. And then I'm walking out of my hotel, and there's a guy with a Chris Fix shirt, and I was like, that just seems like it is him. And I was like, are you Chris Fix? He's like, yeah. And that was like, I gave him a high five, and then I walked away. I was like, all right, cool, I met you. So I do know Chris Fix without the helmet. Have you been working on any Ford Rangers recently? No. Hard no. If it was, I really would love to work on a new Ranger. I don't want to ever work on that dual spark one again. That thing's terrible. What does Chris Fix look like? Kind of like me, with like his hair is probably better for sure, but like we're about the same height. I don't know. Yep, little soapy woody. 2014 used Jeep SRT. What do I have to worry about? There we go. There's a question. Huge thanks for your super chat, Donald.
Still, we've seen the cam and lifter issue on the 6.4 stuff, so a little bit less, though. We don't see them as often, but that still can be an issue. Other than that, I owned a 2017 Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT. The thing was a beast. They're pretty bulletproof drivetrains, other than possibly maybe that cam if it shows itself, but hopefully not.
My favorite one, because the first gen was amazing, right? The first gen was a game changer, and there was so much rivalry there with the Trailblazer SS, the first gen SRT Jeep, and then the second gen came out, and it had those Brembo brakes, and you were like,
Big 6-piston.
Oh,
Yeah.
so much power,
Yeah.
so much braking.
Yep.
What a Jeep, man. I love that thing. He re-edited his face out of the old videos. That's pretty funny. You should buy Count's custom car and wrap it. I think that guy does good paint. I've seen a few Count's Customs episodes. At my old job, what's funny is they had Soundlight TV, and like we would change the channel all the time to like leave it on velocity whenever we were in there, and nobody else would change it because there was a lot of guys and a lot of engineers, and it would either be on like CNN, and all of us didn't want to see all the like constant negativity, so we just change it back to velocity every time we go in the break room. Yeah. And we'd see I'd watch a lot of car TV there back in the day. But obviously, like now, I never see any of it.
Right.
Worst drivers drive what? And is Mazda joining Toyota? I don't think that could ever happen.
I haven't heard anything.
There's no way Mazda would join Toyota. They're both, they both make okay cars. Yeah. And they both sell a lot. Why would they? And then worst drivers drive what cars? That's a pretty funny question. I don't know.
Also don't know.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, everyone's going to say BMWs.
That was my gut instinct.
Jake says Chevy Equinoxes. Well, I think that might be because there's like 7 million Equinoxes. Chevy knows how to sell a car. Are all the mods here real life friends of JRGo? I don't actually know Bat Goat, but he's always in the chat. Cool guy. And my brother is my brother. And the other mod is a good friend from my old job. He's been in some video stuff too. How long to edit a normal video? It takes me about 3 hours a night to go from raw to what you're watching. I start editing at 9 and it's live by 11:45. And it's like you're watching all my videos the same day. And then there was some other stuff I actually wanted to answer. Engine have to come out for a heater core replacement on a Fiat 500. That seems like a dash would come out.
Yeah, I don't do too much on the Fiats. We've got a separate guy that primarily does Fiats, and in theory, surely just the dash should come out unless there's some weird bolt you can't access, but that seems outrageous. Yeah, so surely it's just the dash.
It should be, two clamps on, the heater core lines going through
the AC lines, the heater core lines, maybe a couple of bolts for that holds the HVAC case, but in theory I don't believe you should have to pull the engine.
Heater cores are typically heater cores. They're always a nightmare. Yeah. It's not something you really want to do. Obviously, what the book hours on a heater core is probably like 15 or something stupid.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
That's you get 2 days to do that thing. And it's just the dash. And sometimes they're easy.
Sometimes they're super easy. But other times they're nightmares. Jeep Wrangler, JK, JL Wrangler dashes are horrible. There's some that are super easy, super quick. It's luck of the draw kind of on those.
That's it. Totally. And I was just watching somebody do a swap on a F-250 or something, taking the round plastic one and going to the modern dash like mine has. And I was like, it bolts right in. That's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. Bobby, huge thanks for your super chat. Here's 10 minutes of diesel heat. Great show. Thanks for watching, man. Thanks for watching. Mopar guy's like, no Fiats. I'll stick with the good Mopar products. Well, it's all kind of mixed together, but that does sound right. Yeah. The Mopar stuff is a lot better, I would say. Favorite motorcycle? What's your favorite motorcycle, Tyler?
My ZX6R, that 636. I've loved the body style. That's what I always lusted after when I got my Ninja 300 originally. Put that down at the racetrack and then bought the 636. So there's much cooler. Ducatis are beautiful bikes, but my obtainable favorite bike currently was just that 636.
You can ride my Ducati whenever you want and you'll never want to ride it again. Never again.
I just don't want to feel more power.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
My bike will feel slow.
How fast that bike is, it's garbage. If you want to ruin your first try, it makes amazing motorcycles. We'll sidebar that for a minute. They ruined it with the 765 because I hate that. It's a bad name for an engine, and it should have never moved from the 675. But the Ducati builds garbage. Beautiful bikes.
Beautiful bikes.
Garbage. Oh, I can't say. Now the Hyper Motard is amazing. Love that thing. The super bikes are the bad ones. But if you want to ruin everything for motorcycles in your life, The S1000RR cannot be beat no matter what. The H2 doesn't even come close to what the S1000RR is. It will ruin your life.
Yeah.
It's so good. Oh, and it's got up and down quick shifter.
Yeah.
And if you have premium package, you have forged wheels, which helps a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Taking that weight, taking that unsprung weight out of the wheels. And then up down quick shifter, heated grips. And I mean, what else could you ask for on a super bike?
Yeah.
It's so
cool
fast.
Screen, right?
So cool screen.
Yeah.
So fast.
Yep.
And man, it's just so nice to ride. But the Japanese bikes are also amazing. The 636 is timeless. And the Honda is the smooth one, the 636 is the nasty one, and the Suzuki is kind of the middle bike. It kind of does everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love the Kaways. I like the Hondas. I like the smoothness when you wheelie the Hondas. It's weird. It's just like, and it just comes up. And you're like, nothing changed. It's so smooth. Yeah. And when you do it on, like, you try to, like, wheelie the Ducati or something like that, it's, like, screaming, and you feel like you're going to die. Honda knows how to make that smooth stuff. Evan, huge thank you for your super chat. Somebody was laughing at Sean's comments. Monsters look great even if they're terrible to ride. Yep. Yes, they do. Dumbledore dies at the end. The Speed Triple was cool, but it wasn't a really good engine. So Henry has the 08 Daytona 675, which is one of the greatest bikes of all time. All time. Huffy is the king. We're back to that, I see. Back to the Huffy comments. Here, I mean, Mongoose is probably objectively better.
I have a Walmart Mongoose bike in the garage that I've built. Got mid-travel, long suspension on the front, hydraulic brakes. So I've got a nice Mongoose at home in the garage.
There you go. There you go. Thoughts on the Silverado ZRX? I have not seen anything about that.
Like different than the ZR2?
Yeah, it's not the ZR2 because the ZR2 is a Canyon or whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The ZR2 is the airbag popping machine. As soon as you try to get like sideways in one of those, the airbags pop. Hoovy says we're still at it. Yeah, we are. What dirt bikes have you owned? I've owned a few. Recently, I just had that Kawasaki two-stroke 125 or something like that. That was fun, man. That thing screamed. But I don't really love two-strokes because they are wild. Wild. Harley muscle or V-Rod? Well, isn't the muscle just a V-Rod, the VRSC-M or whatever? I really think those are the same bike. I like the V-Rod a lot.
Good looking bike.
Do you guys have the same hairstylist? No. My hair is much alike. Hoobie, how's your closet chandelier doing? Pretty funny. Okay, 07 Dodge, 243,000 miles. I need new HVAC flaps. Where can I get the updated flaps? Are there updated flaps? I think is it the motor or is the flaps for the blend doors? He's talking about the blend doors and the climate control.
I don't know if there's updated ones. We do occasionally, some of the Jeeps, some of the Dodges do have broken door issues. I don't know if they've updated to a newer style that doesn't break, but hopefully over time, maybe. I'm not sure though.
That's a third gen, right? 07.
I believe that should be.
That's the one that has Nightmare. It's always the passenger side climate
door.
Yeah, it's always ruined. So, and you have to pull like half the dash, which is a little bit of a mess, right?
Right.
Because how long does that take you to do one of those?
Dash pulls, gosh,
or like just the blend door.
Most of the stuff you're pulling the dash to do a blend door.
Oh yeah, because everyone says to like cut it open and then put a plate back over it.
Even Mopar, there's a Mopar kit for the Jeep Grand Cherokees that you're supposed to cut a big hole in the box. We don't do that. We fix it right. We pull the dash, we pull the box, put the new parts in. So I mean, you're depending on the vehicle, could be a few hours if it's an easy one, could be a whole day or more. It's truly just kind of depends on which vehicle.
There you go. Good luck with a blend door.
Yeah.
I know it's common, but it's not fun.
But don't cut a hole in your HVAC box. Don't do it that way.
Serious question. Dakota RT. I do know Uvi's been posting about this. I want to buy one. Why shouldn't I? It's about the same price as JR's Viper truck, but 8,000 miles. No, like you should, right?
Cool
it's got
low mile.
5.9.
The 5.9.
Yeah, it's not fast.
Super cool looking. But no, yeah, cool trucks. So
there's nothing wrong with the 5.9 though.
No,
it's like bulletproof. They call my haircut the Caesar, so I guess it is the Roman Emperor hairstyle. Somebody was mentioning that it's called the Roman Emperor. It's a Caesar with a 2 or something. That's right. The blend door is a $12 part with $1,200 in labor, and that's absolutely
100%. Yep.
Yeah, it's one piece of plastic. Crazy money. The Dodge Dakota RT is super cool. Thoughts on the Carolina Squat? That's like a political debate.
Yeah. At least around locally, we don't have any.
Nobody does it here.
No.
This is Kansas. We do work with our trucks. I answered the whole thing right there. Let's see. I would buy any vehicle with 8,000 miles. That's true. They're all nice. Keith, thanks for watching the channel. And there was something else in here. I don't know. Do people in public ask for your autograph? No. I'd be like, why?
The police on the ticket ask for your autograph.
They do.
That's the only autographs I've ever given.
So they can be sure that you're actually receiving the ticket. I changed the resistor in my Suburban. It was $60 and took 5 minutes. It's not the resistor.
Yeah, resistors typically you can fold the glove box door down or get to it from underneath. And typically blower motors and resistors you can get to, but the doors that move inside of the box, those are the ones that are
nightmare.
Horrible. Pull the dash, pull the case.
Nice that Tyler is early enough into his marriage that he still gets to go do stuff like this. Well, sorry you can't leave the house, Tyler. Kid at our high school had a 4x4 5.9 Dakota that was an absolute animal. Ripped burnouts and jumped several times, just kept going. That's got to be a hard thing to kill.
Yeah.
That's got to be a hard thing to kill. Selfie requests? Yeah, sometimes. I'll take selfies with people. I don't care. I'm always down. Is Tyler 2 an audiophile as well? Are you into the audio game?
No, I've not ever done any audio on my vehicles. But I do appreciate nice sound. I just haven't ever spent my money on it.
What about the new house?
New house does have speakers throughout in the ceiling and a little cool Bluetooth Yamaha receiver to your phone. So yeah, at least some
music wherever you're at.
For sure. Yeah. So,
well, that's pretty cool. Are you into headphones? I am, but not into the wild. I don't buy like Grotto and stuff. I buy the best functional headphones there are, which are always Sennheiser for the most part. What do you think of first gen Neons? I love them.
Yeah, cool.
I love them. How many times have you been pulled over? Good question, Mopar Master Tech.
Oh, many.
Many. The answer is many.
And not in the cool cars, not in the Camaro, not just in my Ram. I get just hit all the time.
It's always when you're just out driving around. Audio Technica does make great headphones as a sidebar. But yeah, I mean, they just pull you over for like going 7 over in cruise control.
Yeah. While you're following somebody, maintaining speed.
Right.
And,
yeah. And you're like, why'd you pick me, man?
Yeah.
There speakers in the closet. That's pretty funny.
She put speakers in the closet.
I would assume there are speakers in the closet.
She did do that.
Absolutely. This guy has 11 warnings and 0 tickets. You should buy 11 lottery tickets. I did the heater core on a 93 S10 Blazer. Had to rip the whole dash out to the firewall. That's pretty normal.
Yeah.
Are you a Sonos fan? I'm not. I'm a Crestron fan. I like to do it for real. Well, all Neons have been crushed by now. The junkyards in my area have crushed all the Neons. Yes, they're very old. The parts are worthless. Why would you keep a Neon? He threw a nice number in there. Send super chats or you'll have frostbitten stubs. Thanks for the super chat, Hoovy. I will have frostbitten stubs. No, I should have the heat really going tomorrow. I'll have the scissor lift back tomorrow, and that'll let me get up there and change the pilots, and then we'll be good.
Because you've got all the jets that you changed.
I did. All the orifices have been swapped out. And then today I went up there. I just took the torch, the old fake pilot, and I just put it right on the pilot because it doesn't get enough gas out of it still. And I got it to light. Cool. So I did have heat for a minute. Yeah. And I'll finish it up hopefully this week. Let's see. Is the ZL1 the best car ever? No. It's AJ again. Yeah. Oh, AJ's just like cut and pasting the same question. Okay.
It's cool, but there's cooler stuff for sure.
Do you watch the Hoonigan channel? Sometimes. Yeah. I do like those guys. Yep. I'm basically building their garage and a few other garages. Are you disappointed? Are you as disappointed in Taco Bell as I am? I am. I'm pretty disappointed by Taco Bell right now. I used to like live off of it, and they kind of ruined the whole menu, and they took out the entire like real value menu.
They lost a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
But now they've added back the build your own box, and you can put the nacho cheese chalupa in it without spending a bunch of extra money, and it's kind of great. So I guess right now I'm kind of happy about that one thing. Are there any pickle pulls and pick and pulls in Wichita? Yes.
Yes.
There are. Okay, any info you can use on the Mopar 1.2 LA 4-cylinder engine they run in the quarter midgets to swap into other models?
I am not familiar with that.
It's got to be a V8 if you're running roundy round tracks, right? 4-cylinder, they run in quarter midgets. I mean, a midget's a roundy round. So I don't know what a 1.2 LA engine.
I'm not sure.
Let's search Google for. All right. The Chrysler LA engine. Definitely.
Oh, it's an old motor. Okay, that's why.
And weirdly, it came in a 6, an 8, and a 10. Interesting. So it must be the old V10,
Interesting.
The monster junky one.
Yeah, V8, V6, V10.
Could be TBI.
Oh, is it just the
and it went all the way to the Magnum?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, they're
weird engine code, and it is also the 8-liter Magnum V10. So, no thoughts on that really, because I'm not into roundy round racing a lot. Yeah, it's obviously they're all good engines. Yeah, everybody did get rid of all their dollar menus. They all got rid of them. PD Pablo is better than Elvis. Subjective, I guess. Gotta spin it like a helicopter. Take your shirt off. What's your favorite BMW M car? That's a good question.
What's your thoughts first?
Yeah, the E60 M5, E63 M5 or whatever. I mean, M5, M6. I like that thing a lot. I don't know. I like everything they make. You know, it's all great.
Great looking cars.
Yeah, great looking, great performers. Yeah. Who knows? M2CS is always like the classic answer now as an enthusiast, right? Because the M2, but I did not like the M2 at all. It does make a little bit of power, but I have driven it, spent a good 10, 15 miles in it. That's not a huge drive, but I don't like the M2. It's way too small. It doesn't have any options. What's the point? I like my cars to be able to do more than one thing. One trick pony. The M3 is kind of where it's at. M4. Cybertruck fan, I got one pre-ordered. It'll never exist, but
they look cool on paper and on yeah.
M cars or AMGs? Well, if you want them to not break, I guess you go with the old AMG. If you are down to work on your car, you buy the M car. Thoughts on the Stinger? We talked about that yesterday. Thoughts on the new Grand Cherokee? We didn't talk about it too much, but that is definitely the price point.
Yep.
New SUV there, $80,000
under the big boy Grand Wagoneer. That it should still be beautiful inside and do everything. It's going to be great.
Yeah. And obviously it's existed for a long time. It's not like it's a huge change or anything.
Yeah. So
that'll be great. Is taking off your cats and mufflers and everything off bad for a motor? You need back pressure.
I think just running open headers or manifolds is bad.
That's bad.
As long as you've got exhaust pipe going all the way, middle or back of the vehicle, you're.
Yeah, and one of the things here is like if it's carbureted, you probably get away with it. But if it's fuel injected, you cannot get away with any of that. You have to have. I think you want 2 foot of pipe minimum behind the O2. Otherwise, it's pulling so much oxygen back in the O2. That the engine has no idea what it's doing. It's trying to compensate for that, right? So that's like, just don't cut all the exhaust off. You can get rid of the cats if you don't have inspections,
right? Yep.
And you have enough pipe behind it. So up to you. We've talked about the SRT division thing here. We've talked about basically everything in the chat right now. Taco John's is okay. Del Taco, I kind of like. Had it again in Vegas a month back. Postal Service is getting rid of the LLV there is no replacement for the Iron Duke. We actually had this conversation on Twitter the other day. Somebody else had said that the Iron Duke is like the most soothing sound and hilarious that there is in your neighborhood, right? Because I always know where the mail truck's at. Before I live, there's like a whole thing where he has to come around here.
You hear the buzz,
and you can tell where the Iron Duke's at immediately. Just it's such a specific sound, and it's a really good sound. And when the Postal Service will probably just go straight to EVs. I don't think they can do an interim truck in reality.
Right.
They should have like speakers and make them sound like the Iron Duke. They really should. Like all mail should sound like the Iron Duke. It's such a good engine. Never dies. Thoughts on the new Bronco? We covered that at length, and you were here for it, so we know. The Fiero should have had the old HO Quad 4. I don't think so. I don't think
is that motor a bad motor, right? Is the Quad 4 bad, or no? Is that
it just should have had an LS? Obviously, it didn't exist,
right?
But like a turbo 4-cylinder, which obviously is a big thing, or the 3800 fits pretty well, which would have been fine in a Fiero.
Yeah. Or
the LS. And yeah, the Mercedes Metris is out there. They're driving a lot of like interim trucks, but they won't flip the fleet to them because they can't. They just can't. The post office will go straight to EVs. James, huge thanks for your super chat. Thoughts on the Grand Cherokee SRT8 second gen ones? We just talked about that quite a bit, but you owned one, of course. So common issues, reasons to stay away from.
Yeah, owned a 2017 Grand SRT, loved it. Other than just possibly maybe that cam and lifter issue, other than that, the thing is bulletproof. It's going to be happy. You've got the 8-speed transmission in that 14 to 18. So yeah, it's going to be a beast. Launch mode, it does all the good things and makes good noises. So yeah,
it does.
Definitely.
Sounds great. Huge brakes, great wheels. It's like 22s.
20s. Yeah,
they're huge.
Yeah.
Oh, they're beautiful. Whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just such a good looking truck, and like what could go wrong?
Awesome. And the prices are coming down on the.
I saw one for like 18 grand.
Yeah.
So. Oh, what a lot of car for 18 grand. That's crazy. Somebody said Hoovy owns that Acura NSX. No. If you watch his channel, you know that Acura was gone long ago. It was traded for the Ferrari. So it was kind of traded for a fire. Traded it for a fire. Anything with the ZF 8-speed is bueno. Yeah, that's facts. Correct. Yeah, ZF knows what they're doing now. They had some weird issues there. Mercedes is great when they're new. The parts get very expensive. It depends on the part in reality. Some Mercedes parts are okay, but the AMG Mercedes parts are pretty much always expensive. USPS sold entire fleet at auction 2 years ago. Are you talking about the LLV fleet? Because I don't know if that's actually true.
I'm not sure.
I don't think so. That's its own thing, you know. And obviously, like, it's illegal to actually sell LLV. It's like federally illegal, or like you're violating a law. So it's weird that like the 5 or so people that have the old Grumman LLVs, the current post office truck, it's super weird when they get them. And if you know the LS swapped mail truck, they made him cover the logo. Yeah, he had to like tape stuff over the logo. I mean, mail trucks are like a mafia thing. It's crazy. Dodge killed SRT 3 days ago now. It's not new news. I think everyone knows it pretty well. Andrew, huge thanks for your super chat. Thoughts on the new Ram Limited? Worth it? Yes.
Yeah. Big 12-inch screen. Really nice. Yeah, they're great trucks.
I think it's the best thing on the road. It's a lot of money. $90,000 for the 3/4 ton. Let's see. Thoughts on a Chrysler Crossfire as a Mopar tech? Well, there's 3 of them, right? I mean, in reality, you got to talk about like 3 different Crossfires. Because there's like 2 engine options and then the AMG, which is the Mercedes.
Yeah. Gosh, we just get so few of them that come in the door. We actually have a Crossfire specific tech that, years ago went to school for. So I don't really ever get to touch and play with him, but he does, and he doesn't terribly love working on them just because we don't play with them too awful much. But
yeah, can you imagine how long ago that guy went to Crossfire school?
Yep. He's our Viper tech too. He went to the original Viper training back in the day.
Okay.
So yeah,
he's been there forever.
Yes.
Because nobody, like, the Crossfire's been dead for it's almost 20 years.
Yep.
Like, you got to think, like, I don't even know why you're asking about it. You should know that you're getting into a lot of work, a lot of miles.
All the parts are Mercedes
parts. All the parts are Mercedes parts. Yeah. Like, it's cool. It's a really cool car, but good luck. Good luck with that thing. I'll buy one of these days, just as a project, and
Yeah.
we'll find out how much of a nightmare it is. So last night we did talk about if money is no object, what's your dream 3-car garage?
And I was thinking of this last night, and I am horrible. I would need some sort of tow vehicle to tow stuff to the track. So, you know, and being FCA or whatever I am now, you know, a Dodge diesel.
Dodge Ram Limited,
3,500.
Yeah.
You know, so my tow vehicle, I'd need something to tow on the trailer, some crazy track car. I like my manual, so that knocks out a bunch of
a lot of the new stuff.
You know. And then, gosh, I'm not sure what my daily. I would want something to off road, so a brand new Jeep Wrangler that I could off road and daily drive in the bad weather. So something in there.
Rubicon Unlimited.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good daily.
Yep.
I like that thing a lot. And then, what would the other one's got to be a sports car.
Yeah.
And if you're keeping it in the Mopar thing, there's really only one option.
Viper.
5th gen Viper ACR.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's
so there's the Mopar garage of
Yeah.
track car, tow car, off-road daily car. Yeah.
And those are the ones I'd want to have too, because they're all relatively easy to work on, except the Viper.
Right.
And really good modern cars
Yep.
that should last forever.
Yep.
Won't care. 2021 Scat Pack has 157 miles, and an ABS module went bad. Dealer says there's one in the country. That checks out.
That could be. We typically sometimes have parts issues. Definitely on a brand new model. If that only works on the brand new model year, then there may not be any out there because they're still building them. So that could possibly be. But weird issue on a brand new car.
Yep. Somebody wants to know, do you guys have to insure all of your cars separately, or do you have a policy that covers you to drive mini vehicles? Usually your policy is kind of covering whatever you're driving in reality, but I have a collector car policy that has most of my cars that sit on it, and then I have another policy for dailies. So
yeah, I've just got a normal policy with my stuff sitting on it. So
it's only because the R8 would be really expensive on normal insurance. And the R8 on collector insurance is like $280 a month with all the rest of the cars. It's really cheap. Ultimate track cars needed in Tyler's garage. In which Tyler?
That's true.
But I mean, I think we all love the Ultima. It's really cool.
Yeah.
You know the Ultima?
I believe so.
It's like a straight up race car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Ultima GTR. Why haven't you done any videos on any Mercedes? Because I don't think I've ever owned a single Mercedes. I've spent a lot of time in them, and I've actually made a bunch of videos about them. The last one was probably the AMG GTR.
Yeah.
Pro, like the greatest thing they've made in a long time. Does Wichita still have cars and coffee at the bowling alley? Absolutely.
Not right now during the snow and ice.
Yeah, not during the winter.
We'll hopefully start back up.
Yep. And opinions on... We're going to probably wrap this up here in a minute, but opinions on the Magnum. Missed opportunity with it's not a missed opportunity.
Yeah, they made the SRT. It's cool. The facelift one, like Jake talked about earlier, I think looks better than the kind of original one. But no, it's identical underneath to the Charger 300. It's the LX platform, so it's choose your body. They're all going to drive very similar. They're going to be the same parts underneath. So yeah, pick your body. Charger
is a fake enthusiast hype thing.
Yeah.
Like everyone says they want wagons, but they only sell in Europe, which is why nobody keeps them here. That's why the CTS V2 wagon only existed for one gen. And like it has like a hype price tag, but they didn't sell any of them.
Right.
So, I mean, that answers all your questions. Like the market is the only thing that matters. And no one in the US is actually buying any wagons.
Yeah.
They sell, a couple thousand a year. But if you look at Ford, like Ford sells literally like 1,500 F-150s a day, brand new or something.
Right.
And that's like all the wagon production for a year.
Yeah.
So like they're pointless.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for the manufacturers to make them. That's your whole. Yeah, the RS6 wagon will sell here for 2 years, and then Audi will pull it. Luckily, Audi does that all the time. Audi always just like moves through the R line, and they'll bring a wagon over, and it will sell because they make so few of them anyway that it works fine.
Yeah.
They know going into it, they're just going to sell them for 150 grand each,
right?
And it's okay.
Yeah.
But nobody else can go make wagons and make them happen. Yeah, and the Regal Tour X didn't sell at all. Of course, they're giving them away. It's hard to get them off the lot. So Does the car somebody said, does the car desktop behind you have black wheels? That's a Lamborghini Reventone. I can't say it suddenly, but it's the Reventone has those bolt-on carbon covers on like it's like a gunmetal powder coat, and then of course those bolt-on carbon blades. Yeah. So it's not actually black wheels. It's perfection. One of the greatest cars ever made ever. Ram 700 or 1200. What's that mean?
What does it say?
It just says Ram 700 or 1200.
700.
I don't understand
I'm not
at
sure.
all. I don't know.
Buy it for 700. Don't buy it for 1200.
That's right.
I don't know.
Unless the engine's blown up, then you should pay 1200. I don't know. I would buy a Regal Tour X. There you go. You're the one person. You go find a Buick dealer and they'll jump all over you to try to get rid of the one. But wagons are just weird. Subaru Outback does sell really well, but it's only a sort of wagon.
Right.
It's like a stretch sedan.
Yeah.
Somebody said, JR, you need to do a podcast. That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
This is the podcast.
I've really enjoyed watching, listening. So
right after this, it goes away. I'm going back to work. Snow's gone. Trans Am or Firebird? The Trans Am every single time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yep.
Firebird it's just not there. If you had to put a car engine on a motorcycle, what engine? Well, you can just buy the Boss Haas or whatever. It's got a 350. And then Dodge did the Tomahawk, put the old Viper engine in the motorcycle.
But that thing kind of had 4 wheels-ish.
It kind of has 4 wheels, and it kind of doesn't come with a transmission. But if you paid $20,000 more, they give you the transmission, and you had to install it yourself. I don't know. The Tomahawk was super cool. Longest time you've ever had a car battery last? 7 or 8 years.
Yep.
So a long time. A long time. You can get a 454 in the Boss Haas. That checks out. You can also get the LS in the Boss Haas. You can order that thing with whatever car engine you want at this point, probably. I bet they'll Hellcat it. The Rocket 3 kind of is a car engine as well. Yeah, it's massive. Yeah, any other? See if here we go. 2018 Jeep JL steering gear TSB issues.
Yeah. So there's a lot of wandering with the JLs, but gosh, it seems like the ones that we have come in complaining about that are the ones that have big aftermarket lifts, aftermarket wheels and tires. And yeah, we can do the service Bolton, put the new steering gearbox. They changed it. They all came out with an aluminum gearbox. We're putting in a steel iron gearbox. I don't know if they were getting a little flex in it, causing a little wander, but it seems like the only ones that are coming in complaining are the big lifted with big wheels and tires.
They're on 37s, and it knocked out the bushings.
Or would normally have a little more wander than
in the sidewalls.
So I don't know, but yeah, we do them. So
100% makes fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yep.
I was also reading what's the favorite car you've ever owned at the same time while I was talking. What's your favorite car you've ever owned?
My personal would be my current Camaro. It's cool looking,
super fun.
Fast track. You look like a track day hero out on track.
Yes.
So
yep, it's a good one. Mine, I don't really know, but my F-250 is untouchable. It's so good. But anyway, is this live format because of the weather? Yes, it is. And you can buy this shirt at shop.WatchJRGo.com. We're going to wrap this up. Huge thank you to Tyler Potter.
Thanks for having me.
I'll put a link to your YouTube channel in the description below and in the title. And this is Tyler Hoover's neighbor, which is why we were talking about that earlier. He lives literally right beside him. And tonight I'll actually get on Twitch. Yesterday I Twitch streamed a bunch before this. Tonight I'll get on for the rest of the night probably and play some Star Wars Jedi Knight. Anyway, huge thank you to you guys for watching. Thanks again to Tyler for being here. Shop.WatchJRGo.com for cool shirts, not like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I'll talk to you next time. Okay, I like how I have to hit end stream after every time. Cool.